Hello all my beautiful little unicorns and welcome back to my channel. And if this is indeed the first time that you're on my channel, my name is Vanessa and I and I would like to welcome you into the fam. So first things first, all my beautiful souls, let me explain to you how this video works. In this pick a card tarot reading, you are going to figure out all the information that you need to know right now. So everything from your love life to your career to personal development and just random things that your angels want you to look out for. I am not going to spare any details and I'm going to make sure that you receive all the messages that you need. And in order to do so, I have 4 groups prepared for you that you can choose from during the first round of your reading. And then once you've received the corresponding reading that goes with the group of your choice, you can scroll back down into the description box as well as the top of the comment section where you can find timestamps for each and every sign of the zodiac. So what you do then is you click your zodiac sign and you'll be fast forwarded to the second and even more personalized part of your prediction. Because as you guys know, the Unicorn Mom does not play around. I love to go the extra mile for all of you. Furthermore, as many of you may be aware of, on my Instagram, there's sadly a lot of fake accounts that are circulating, which are impersonating me as well as other tarot readers. So my beautiful Unicorn fam, if you could please do me the huge favor of following me on Instagram. That way the likelihood of one of my applications to becoming verified being accepted increases immensely, which would create a safer environment on Instagram, as the correctly spelled Vanessa Samina account with the blue verification tick would without doubt be the only legit one. The link to my Instagram account can be found down below in the description box. And of course, if you vibe with me and my readings and you love the energy here on my channel, feel free to subscribe to my channel, hit the subscribe button, and turn on your notification bell. But now it's time for me to introduce you to the 4 groups that I have prepared for you for part 1 of your reading. Group number 1 corresponds to the Green Witch Oracle deck, as well as the Aquamarine and the Following Sound. Group number 2 corresponds to the Divine Feather Messenger Oracle deck, as well as the Amazonite and the Following Sound. Group number 3 corresponds to the Gentle Heart Tarot deck, as well as the Aragonite and the Following Sound. And last but absolutely not least, group number 4 corresponds to the Messages from Your Animal Spirit Guides Oracle deck, the Black Obsidian, as well as the Following Sound. So I will now provide you with a little moment of privacy so you can meditate on the 4 groups and pick whichever one that you feel intuitively drawn towards. So by now, you've hopefully been able to select one of these 4 groups. I recommend that when you move on to the zodiac portion of this video that you watch your sun sign as well as your moon and your rising sign. That way you can put together a prediction that fits your personal birth chart, as the possible combinations of different readings that you can put together in this video are truly endless. But anyways guys, I won't keep you waiting any longer. I will be starting off your readings with the first group, which corresponds to the Green Witch Oracle deck, as well as the Aquamarine crystal. So if this is the group that you chose for the first round of your readings, in order to figure out everything that you need to know, then keep watching. And to all of my other beautiful groups as well as signs of the zodiac, I will catch you at the click of your timestamp. Hello all my beautiful souls of group 1. You chose the Green Witch Oracle deck in conjunction to the Aquamarine crystal. Let's do a quick close-up of the crystal of your choice. This is the beautiful Aquamarine stone. It comes in different hues of light green as well as baby blue, and I do also want you to know that this stone is a stone that radiates a calming and very chill type of energy, which may be the reason why you intuitively felt drawn to it. But group 1, let's get into your reading to figure out everything that you need to hear and know right now. We've got the black mulberry, we've got the tarragon, as well as the chrysanthemum. So in the black mulberry as well as the tarragon, first and foremost, you are meant to receive a message of wholeness and reminding you that you are whole as a human being. You don't need to fix yourself in order to be whole or in order to be worthy, but it's really important for you to also focus on regeneration in order to ensure longevity in this wholeness. The chrysanthemum as well as the tarragon shows me here that without regeneration, of course, longevity is going to be very hard for you to accomplish and to have as part of your life. So group one, your guides are trying to point out to you that longevity is only something that can be accomplished if you give your body enough time for regeneration. Just think about it. If you over-exercise, overtrain your body, or strain yourself, and you never give it time to regenerate, then of course you will be moving away from this wholeness that is clearly part of your life, but that you also have to kind of guard and not take for granted. Group one, there are a lot of people who would kill to be in your position, and that's not to minimize your personal struggles or things that you deal with or any ailments that you may have, any types of things that are holding you back or making you feel as though you are not as able-bodied as another person. Do know that all of those points are super valid, but to also keep in mind here that there's parts of your life that are amazing that just prove how whole everything is and how you actually do have access to a lot of things that can really serve you and create longevity in your life where you can lead a long, happy, fulfilling life. But give yourself time to regenerate and also to stimulate yourself. I see that here within the chili. And by stimulation, I mean stimulating your body through massages, through different types of workouts, through just using different areas of your body that you didn't even know existed or you didn't even know you could feel. For example, group one, I just did a really fun workout this morning, a lower body workout, and I feel really sore, but I'm seeing this as a very wholesome experience because I'm stimulating parts of my body that obviously have not been used in a long time or haven't been worked out a lot, parts that I didn't even know could hurt or feel sore. And I'm also giving myself time to regenerate, time to get back to a place where that soreness goes away. But this all leads to longevity. The more you also surprise your body and give your body different tasks that it's not used to, you allow for it to regenerate in different areas where it's usually just slumbering and dormant. So actually stressing your body out a little bit, stressing yourself out just that little bit does help with longevity. It does increase your body's natural ability to problem solve as well. Remind yourself here that you are whole, that your body possesses everything in order to heal itself. It's all about you just allowing it to do so. I see here within the wall that part of everything you need to know, group number one, is that there may have been a huge misunderstanding when it comes to your understanding of your own personal health and longevity and your own personal journey to being the healthiest version of yourself. So do some extra research, as I do see here that the universe wants you to stimulate your brain and stimulate a part of you that you maybe have not given enough time to. So that could be researching different diets, different ways how you can move your body in order to get the most out of life and your physical body as a whole. And I can see here within the perched bird that there's also some news that's just waiting to be yours. But you can only receive this surprising news by doing the research, right, and looking a little further than you have up until this point. Of course, for example, doctors and physicians, they're great when it comes to healing trauma, but they don't get a lot of schooling in things like diet and nutrition, so they may give you some basic advice, but sometimes you just need to dig deeper in order to really get the most out of your situation, your body, and your health to create longevity. The younger man shows me that you will be in dealings or a relationship with a younger man, with someone who has kind of like fresh, bubbly energy, who is potentially younger than you biologically, or let's just say mentally as well, because there are a lot of people who biologically may be ahead of you, but when it comes to their inner world, they are younger and they're less mature. And that's one thing that I see here with the younger man. Let's see what types of feelings this person is going to invoke in you. we've got the Death card. So I see here in the Death that they're going to make you want to start over and start afresh. So this could, for example, be an ex or someone who you were interested in, or they were interested in you, and they're trying to give the relationship a new life and a second chance. They're trying to start things on a fresh slate. I see that here in the younger man, and you're being called to do what you know is intuitively right. Because yes, people can change, but you also need a lot of time often in between relationships to have a real change occur. And you also need to know yourself and that person and how toxic the relationship was, and figure out whether you truly do want to let them back into your life, especially when you don't necessarily need them. We have the Peace card pop into your reading as well. It popped right out of the pile. It flew out of it, group 1. The Peace card shows me here that that is what you are being called to truly focus on when it comes to this younger man and just overall this situationship. And to remind yourself here that wholeness is yours. You are already whole. You don't need this person. So if they're not bringing you peace and they're not upgrading your life, then you definitely know that you should just leave that where it was. You should just not give new life to a relationship with this younger man. But this reading is about everything that you need to know, group number 1. So we have a lot more details to get into. Let's move further into it. We've got the Empress. I see here that this person is really attracted to you in a physical way, in a sexual way. I see that here with the younger man as well as the Empress, and I can see that they can picture themselves being with you long term, but they're also someone who is just overall pretty sexual. I see in the Chariot that they like to move forward very quickly when it comes to being intimate. They are the type of person that kind of is all about being intimate now, asking questions later, and you need to ask yourself if that is the type of energy that you can really cope with, and if that is something that will make you happy in the long run. I see in the Temperance card that why they are depicted here as a younger man is because they really need to learn about temperance, self-control, and also just taking a step back sometimes, not being so impulsive and not just doing things on a whim, not just rushing into situations. I do also see that they're not someone who is super loyal when it comes to being intimate. And again, group number 1, some people are okay with that. Some people are very similar, so they want a partner who are also not super strict about only being with one person in a relationship physically. So it also kind of depends on where you are in life right now. I see here in the Queen of Rods that this is definitely also someone who has had some interesting life experiences that has shaped them in a way of being very impulsive and doing things now, asking questions later, as it's always kind of worked out for them. I see that here within the Six of Rods. They've always been really victorious in that way, and they've never really had to question their actions very much. So they're quite privileged. They grew up in a sense of not really having to worry about consequences and what their actions may do. And I see here in the Two of Elixirs that they're also quite attractive in a conventional sense. People flock towards them, people forgive them very easily. And that's maybe also why they think that they can do the same with you, group number 1, and that you'll be cool with it. So you just have to watch out here with this person and figure out what is right for you and figure out exactly what you feel will honor yourself, will honor who you are, your self-worth, your self-love, and what will have longevity and provide longevity in a romantic relationship. Next up, we've got the Waxing Crescent 4. Focusing on self-love is something that you need to hear and need to know, especially in context to this person, because there are people who will use their fortune, their wealth, their good looks in order to make other people feel like they have to put up with their shenanigans or with their wrongdoings. Know here in the Waxing Crescent 4 that it's important for you to ensure that you always remind yourself that you are just as worthy, your feelings are just as important, and whether it's a boss or whether it is a potential romantic encounter, nobody has the right to make you feel less than or like your feelings are invalid just because they are put on a pedestal by society, or that is just how they have gotten through life up until this point. Maybe you're the first one who needs to tell that person no. I see here in the waxing crescent too that you are actually the type of person, group one, who gives other people who are on power trips their first no's quite often, like by telling them to back off, by telling them that boundaries exist and those need to be respected. And I see here in the waxing crescent too that you really help break through barriers and boundaries when it comes to these things, whether it's being a woman in a certain space or a person of color, just someone who doesn't usually show up in a boardroom full of specific people. You're always kind of like the odd one out. You always have this energy that's slightly different. And I see here in the waxing crescent too that you're actually a huge pioneer for other people who are in your same position. I see here within the waxing crescent 3 that this leads to a lot of personal growth. So you do need to know here that you have an important job to do in this lifetime, and you're doing it amazingly well, and it's helping you really grow as a human being and increase your self-love, your self-acceptance, as well as validating your own feelings, group one. But you're also helping your community and people who are in similar situations as you're in to grow and to know here that change is possible. And this really ties in beautifully with you being a pioneer, group number one, with you being the type of person that is actually helping new beginnings in this world, whether it be through showing that people from your background or people like you can get things done, can have important jobs and be in situations of power, or you're just overall empowering others to figure out their self-worth and remind themselves that they don't have to settle for less. Do know here within the new moon that you help facilitate all that. Next up, we've got caution. I do see here within caution that you are being called to be quite careful when it comes to love, quite careful when it comes to who you trust, and also whose information that you take on board. I see that here in conjunction to the perch bird, as well as the Queen of Rods, because the Queen of Rods can be very direct and upfront, but also quite secretive. And this is the type of person that we spoke about in the younger man, who has fire sign energy, which can be temperamental. So you want to make sure that if you're ever with someone who has a very unstable temper, that you're never alone with them. I see here within creativity, group number one, that a part of you is trying to find more acceptance in your creative ventures. So what you need to hear is that it's okay to also start afresh. If you try to do a certain form of art, or you've tried a YouTube channel or a blog before and it just hasn't worked out, then it's completely okay for you to tap into your creativity and try a completely different topic. I mean, years ago, I used to do hauls of clothes and things like that because I always loved fashion and makeup, and I still incorporate that into some of my videos because you guys see all of the looks. This is definitely something that I do because I love switching up looks, but I've also always loved tarot, crystals, and spirituality. So it's completely okay for you to switch up from one thing that you love and do something completely different, and that might work out in a better way for you, and you would still be able to incorporate that thing that you first tried to do, that you first felt would be the best step for you. But don't get frustrated. That is a big part of what you need to hear, group number one. And I hope that you can appreciate my really blunt and honest reading style, because I don't like to sugarcoat things. I think that's the worst thing you can do. You're here for honesty, right? You're here to know the real messages behind these cards, not just a sugar-coated version that absolutely everybody wants to hear. So if you agree with wanting the truth, leave a little light bulb emoji down below in the comment section to let me and others know. But now back to the anger card. It's so important for you to not get angry with yourself if some of the ventures that you've tried in the past just haven't fully worked out the way you wanted to. A success is something that's still coming, but of course it always takes a little bit of time to gain a foothold when you want longevity in success, as we have here in the chrysanthemum. There's no such thing as an overnight success. A lot of these overnight success stories are actually just people who have been doing what they're passionate about for years, often for free. very many times for decades, even like actors, business people, YouTubers, they've all been doing these things or into these things for a very long time. And it takes a while to gain momentum. And then people think you're an overnight success just because you've gained overnight exposure, which is all that it really is. So don't get frustrated along the way. Know that it's most important for you to feel creatively challenged and feel as though this is something that really stimulates you, that makes you feel like you're having fun. Next up, we've got space, group number 1. So in space, I can see that one of the things that you really need to know is that sometimes you need space to grow, and that's okay. Sometimes you need space from loved ones, from family, even from people who you're in tight-knit relationships with, and take that space. Of course, inform them of it, but sometimes the only way you can grow is with having people at a distance and loving them from a distance. And that's not something you should feel ashamed of. If you need that space, if you need a little bit of your own kind of, how should I say, your own little bubble to exist for a little bit, then take that space without feeling like you're letting other people down or feeling like you're doing something to them. No, you're doing something for you, as we had here in the waxing crescent 4, which speaks of self-love, which speaks of you, of course, moving into wholeness, staying in wholeness, reminding yourself that you don't need someone else in order to become whole. You are already whole the way you are, and to give yourself enough time to regenerate. Whenever you stimulated a different area of your life and your body and your existence, give yourself time to process that in order to create longevity and just long-term happiness and a steady increase in your self-development. So group 1, this is the reading that I received for the first part of your prediction. Make sure that you now scroll down into the description box or the top of the comment section, click the timestamp of your zodiac sign, and you'll be fast forwarded to part 2 of your prediction. So I'll catch you over there. Hello, group number 2, and welcome to the first part of your prediction. You chose the Amazonite in conjunction to the Divine Feather Messenger Oracle deck. Let's first do a close-up of the crystal of your choice. This is the beautiful Amazonite. This is an amazing stone that helps ground you, but also just bring very calming energy into your life, which is maybe why you chose it. It also happens to be absolutely stunning. This feather, I believe, belongs to the hummingbird. Yes, all of my beautiful souls of group 2, the hummingbird brings a message of releasing what you've been carrying and lightening up, that new joy is on its way. So even if you feel as though you have already experienced some amazing things and you're worried that nothing new and exciting is coming into your life, something new is already on its way. If you've had any letdowns or you've in any way, shape, or form been rejected, know that there's already a new person on its way to you that's going to appreciate you for who you are. Next up, we've got the meadowlark, which brings a pretty similar message to you about what you need to hear right now, to smile, and that you will soon be experiencing a wonderful journey of inner discovery. So group number 2, this really does show that part of everything that you need to hear is to just know everything will be all right. Even if you're going through a tough time, even if you feel let down, even if you feel as though someone has done something to you that they really shouldn't have, that hurt your feelings, there are better people coming along, coming your way, and it's important for you to stay rooted in knowing that one crappy situation that is hard and difficult does not mean that you're going to experience a crappy existence. Next up, we've got the High Priestess. Stay rooted in the universe, stay rooted in your spirituality, stay rooted in your belief system, and the fact that you know that you're creating good karma for yourself by being a good person. Good things do happen to good people. You attract wonderful things into your life when you're being kind, caring, and giving. Of course, life isn't perfect, but at the same time, remind yourself here that you've been carrying more burdens around than you really should have. It's time to release those. Also, burdens that other people have put on you without you actually giving them permission to, or maybe you didn't even notice. Think about someone at work giving you an extra task, or a parent or a friend just kind of putting a lot of pressure on you for something. That is a burden you need to release, and don't fear judgment. I see that here within the judgment card. It's so important for you to not feel as though you will be judged or looked at differently or in a bad way, shape, or form. If you say no to something, or if you instill boundaries, if you speak up for what's okay and what's just too much for you, I definitely see here within the Judgment card and the Hummingbird that that is a type of fear you need to let go of, because it's not serving you now and it won't serve you in the long run. The Four of Rods shows me that once you let go of that, you will be able to feel a lot more stable in your opinions, your convictions, and also all of the things that you speak out as boundaries. Once you learn that it's completely fine and it's your right to speak up on boundaries, and that people who don't like your boundaries, those are not the type of people you want to keep around you anyways. Once you learn that, I see that everything will seem so much more effortless, and like you will really appreciate having a smaller circle of friends and people, but knowing that those are really people who get you and understand you and will never push you past your comfort zone or past your breaking point. The suit of blades actually corresponds to the element of air. This is the suit that is usually seen as the swords in other tarot decks, or how should I say, traditional tarot decks. So the Ace of Blades shows me that what you need to hear is that there's a complete shift of your mind that's coming towards you when it comes to these boundaries, and when it comes to the way that you view people who are trying to push you out of your comfort zone in a way that is just pushing too much. Yes, there are amazing friends and family who push you out of your comfort zone in a way that can serve you and in a way that you maybe wouldn't have pushed yourself, and that works out for the better. But I see that part of everything that you need to hear is to watch out for situations that push you out of your comfort zone and it's just too much, and it's creating a lot of unhealthy tension or a lot of unhealthy burdens that you have to stem. The geranium shows me here that healing is part of what you need to hear, and reminding yourself that you sometimes have to take the weight off your shoulders, take the heavy backpack off, so to say, of just stuff that you're carrying around with you. Group 2, as healing is something that can only occur when you give yourself the opportunity to do so, and this is an important message that you need to receive, as I also see love in the tomato that's coming towards you. But love is something that you will most likely be able to receive and fully enjoy when you pair that up with healing, and when you also see being in love and being with a lover as a very healing situation as a whole. Group number 2. Next up, we've got the sorrel. The sorrel shows me affection, so being with someone whose love language is touch, is physical affection. They may also give you a lot of verbal affection as well, giving you words of affirmation, just overall telling you how amazing that you are. And I see that that's a really healing situation for you as well. So any lover in your life should be the type of person that recharges you, that you feel as a charge pad, not just you running on empty or being out in the world and having your energy drained. That is not what your romantic relationship should look like. You are meant to focus on healing romantically, as well as definitely being covered by love and affection, and someone who really appreciates every ounce of your being. And that is part of what you need to hear, group number 2, especially if you feel like you haven't been getting that or you've been let down in that regard. Next up, we've got the Strength card. And yes, sometimes you just got to be strong and stand up for yourself, group number 2. And sometimes strength isn't necessarily about how much you take on, it's about how much you can say no to. Just think about it. If you are naturally inclined to please people and to say yes to a lot of requests, then you may be burning yourself out, right? And the real strength would lie in only taking on projects that you know you can fit into your schedule, and only taking on things that you know you're capable of dealing with, not putting too much on your plate to the point that you actually only get the rest of you while the world gets the best of you. I see here within the Six of Wands, group number 2, that the more you actually say no to certain things, the more you will find that the things that you do have an amazing quality to them. So just think of an artist focusing just on one piece instead of a million different pieces, but that one piece is spectacular, or that one song is what really catapults them to stardom and really just shows off all of their talent. And often it's just way better to have quality instead of quantity, and that is what I see here in everything that you need to hear, and an important message that we have for you. We've got the High Priestess again. This is the second time, but from a different deck. I believe this is the House of Horrors deck, and this deck here is the Antique Anatomy Tarot up here, and we had the High Priestess in this deck as well, group number 2. So this card showing up twice within your reading, it is very unlikely, as both of these decks have 78 different cards, as tarot decks typically do. And I can also see here within the High Priestess that you are being called to focus and stay rooted in that spiritual plane, in that plane that knows that there's something greater and bigger than you and I out here in the universe, and that there are still hidden forces that are inexplicable but that do exist. There is a reason why people with a positive outlook more frequently lead healthier, longer lives than those who see the glass as half empty, and those who see everything in a very dim and very dark light that isn't positive. I see here within the Five of Cups that abandoning any mindsets that don't serve you is part of everything that you need to hear, group number 2, and to remind yourself that no matter what other people say, even if people say, oh, your new age stuff is silly, or tarot is silly, or anything in that direction, that is none of your business really. Their thoughts are absolutely none of your business. You do what serves you, group number 2. You find empowerment in that, and remind yourself that if it serves you and if it makes you feel good, that is really all that should matter, especially to people who claim to care about you and love you and want the best for you. They should simply want you to feel happy, feel secure, and feel as though you are following a path that really brings you joy and brings you calmness. I can see here within trusting your faith and diving into the unfolding journey that it's important for you to also ask yourself what you should be following, what type of faith, what type of spiritual journey is best for you. Take frequent breaks on your own journey through life and ask yourself, am I still where I need to be? Or do I need to focus more on meditation? Do I need to focus more on grounding myself, being outside in the nature? Do I need to focus more on spending time with other people and learning what it's like to be in more social situations? These are all things that you need to hear, group number 2, because your journey isn't linear. There isn't just a list that you check off. Every time you make an extra step, you take an extra step forward. It is definitely important for you to check in with yourself and reevaluate what would serve you in any given moment and release what doesn't. I see that in the waning crescent 4. Your angels and guides are here speaking to us directly, group number 2. Release what doesn't serve you. That is the true strength. Being able to say, okay, I don't need this, and confidently letting go of it. I really struggle to do that sometimes with physical items, group number 2. So if you're just like me, then you understand what I mean when you feel attached to something because of the memories or because what could have been, whether that's a piece of clothing that you've never worn or that you in fact have worn many times. So then it's either you're struggling with the fact that you could still make memories in it and it could still create this perfect moment for you, or you're struggling with letting go of it because you've already attached memories to it. But actually knowing the things that really serve you, and also understanding that especially material items, there's no point in clinging on to them. There's no point in putting so much value into too many things and releasing them. That is true strength. I see here within the waxing gibbous too that this will invoke fear, letting go of relationships really as well that don't serve you. That is a very strong thing to do and a difficult one to overcome. Trust me, I've been there, group number 2, but you will feel so amazing when you let go of allowing people to have a hold on you who are not serving your purpose and your journey. Because genuinely, group 2, and this is something really personal, if I would have kept certain people in close proximity to myself while I was working hard on building my YouTube channel, which, you know, I still am, but I mean, more in the beginning stages a couple years ago, if I would have stuck to their advice, I would not have the beautiful community that I have today. If I would have taken their advice when it comes to my business and doing my own thing, then I would be in such a less happy and fulfilled spot. And they instilled a lot of fear in me. And that's when I realized I have to release these relationships. I have to let go of them because they're not serving me and they're not getting me to where I'm trying to go. So then what are they doing for me really, right? So next up, we've got the waning crescent 5. So I do want you to know here in the waning crescent 5 that you will eventually find peace. Yes, I'm not gonna lie, group number 2, you will feel bothered at first. You will have fear within you about whether you made the right choice or not, whether you were too harsh, whether you did something that you shouldn't have done. But I see here in the waning crescent 5 that you, just as I have, will find peace. And it's important for you to keep in mind that through taking a lot more action in a fearless way, you will come to not even miss those relationships or those things that you were clinging on to. You will come to find that, wow, this is actually so much more freeing. I actually feel like I can do whatever I want to do without having someone looking over my shoulder or constantly giving me unhelpful advice or bringing unhelpful energy into my existence. And this is part of what you need to hear. And I hope you can appreciate this really honest approach. Group number 2, if you do, then make sure that you leave a little pink flower emoji down below in the comment section to let me and others know. Next up, we've got the bag, group number 2. So something important such as a new job or a raise is coming towards you, especially as you let go of people who are holding you back. Group number 2, you don't have space for those. It's uncomfortable to hear that, but that chair needs to be empty. This card popped right out of the pile, okay, and this is all about someone leaving your life. So I can see that it's not just material things that you may have to get rid of, like old clothes or furniture, just items that don't serve you, but I definitely see that there's someone you're maybe even thinking about right now. Group number 2, you most likely are, and you just know they have gots to go. And in the empty chair, I definitely see that they must be dethroned. And that doesn't mean kicking them out of your life forever, group number 2. Don't take that in the wrong way. That just means not giving them a seat right next to yours, but giving them a seat in a different row so you can see them, you can love them from afar. Sometimes you can get up, walk to their aisle, talk to them, but when the main movie is on and you're not in a break and that movie is the movie that is your life where you're the main character, they don't have a say, okay? They're taking a seat in the back and they're not able to say what comes next. I can see here with enlightening that this may even bring up a lot of feelings of anger and frustration because you will realize, wow, maybe you've been gaslit into feeling bad for years or even decades of your life. Like someone may have tried to control you using fear, and when you come to that epiphany and that realization, it often truly does invoke really difficult feelings and feelings of actually wanting to confront them and tell them that that was a terrible way for them to be. But do know here within the chain that that will only actually induce a chain of events that will affect your life, of course, in a way that will create some friction or some sense of tension. And sometimes it is worth it to just speak up and tell them that you absolutely do not appreciate what they have been doing to you for all these years. But in many instances, group number 2, keep in mind that when someone has systemically and in a very kind of, how should I say, in a very cold way been making you do things or feel ways over long periods of time that they thought were okay, that was actually controlling you, confining you, putting you into a box, and you all of a sudden come to the epiphany that you're gonna get up, you're not their doormat. They often don't understand that because you're either dealing with, say, a narcissist or just someone overall who does not get it, because if they understood their actions, they probably wouldn't have treated you like that in the first place. So it's often really not worth confronting them, and it's really best for you to channel all that energy that could be anger into creative projects and into your romantic relationships, which are healthy ones, into things that make you feel strong and empowered, into actually walking your talk. And if walking your talk means being kind to everyone, even people who probably don't deserve your kindness, if we can say so, group number 2, then so be it. Then don't get suckered into feeling like you have to retaliate or feeling like there must be a confrontation there. It's best for you to save your time, your energy, and sometimes even your money if you would like to proceed in a legal way against someone. It is often the best decision to simply let it go and move on with your life rather than investing even more time in a situation that you have realized you have to let go of. You have to simply release and learn from, and also know that this has shaped you to be the strong person that you are. Because a lot of us who go through abuse or who go through controlling situations and relationships, we end up being very strong, or that ends up shaping us in a way that all other relationships didn't. And yeah, it was hard and it really sucked, but at the same time, remind yourself that you're only who you are today because of your experiences, all of the good ones and the bad ones. So honor all of them and understand that some of us are just meant to be on a path where we learn a lot and where a lot is put on our plate, but in the end, we're able to set an amazing example for people who are going through that very same thing that maybe lack some of the strength that you have, group number 2. So share your story, stand up straight, stand up tall. Know that this is the first part of your prediction. Scroll down into the description box or the top of the comment section, click your zodiac sign, and you'll be fast forwarded to the second and even more personalized part of your reading. So I'll catch you over there. Hello, group number 3, and welcome to the first part of your prediction about everything that you need to know. You chose the Aragonite in connectivity to the Gentle Heart Tarot deck. So first up, let's do a little close-up of the Aragonite crystal for you. This is the beautiful Aragonite. It is a super unique stone. As you can see, it comes in this beautiful red, unique shape. It is a crystal that brings a lot of extra energy into your life as well as willpower, which may be exactly why you chose this group 3. So the Gentle Heart Tarot deck, for any of you who are completely new to the Unicorn family, this is actually the tarot deck that I created and published. You can find the links in the description box in case you're looking for a new tarot deck to add to your collection, but that's not what we're here for now. Let's figure out exactly what you need to hear and know, group number 3. We've got the 3 of Cups reversed, the 5 of Cups reversed, the Justice card, as well as the 9 of Crystals reversed. Let's start off with the 3 of Cups reversed. So what you need to hear, group number 3, is the fact that you still have the best time of your life ahead of you. I see here in the 3 of Cups reversed that you still have so much that's coming for you, especially when it comes to social engagements, going out, having fun, partying, spending time with other people, celebrating different accomplishments in your life as well as other people's lives. And I can see here in the 5 of Cups reverse that even if you're going through a tough time right now, emotionally speaking, or just overall, it doesn't seem that way. It's important for you to know here that so many things can change so quickly in just an instant, and you're most likely not expecting what your life will actually look like a little bit down the road, maybe just a couple months or years from now. I can see here within the Justice card that everything will balance itself out for you, group number 3. So what you need to hear and what you need to know is that any difficult situations that you've been in, they have actually taught you how to be resilient. And I can see here in the 9 of Crystals reverse that rather than walking away feeling wounded or feeling as though you are in a position where you're weaker from what you had to go through instead of stronger, you're actually going to find that you've learned so much, and this is helping you to be street smart. It's helping you in your career moving forward, in your business, as well as your personal life. So basically all of the lessons that you've learned, none of them will have been in vain, and you're going to find this be illuminated more and more the older you get, group number 3. So the more you're actually in social situations, or you just have the next mountain to climb and conquer, you will kind of look back to lessons that you've learned and apply those lessons and be so thankful that you went through tough times that actually taught you a lot of invaluable things. I see here within the Knight of Swords that there's somebody in your life that you need to know of, or someone who is going to enter your life. The Knight of Swords is basically the Knight of Air, as the suit of swords corresponds to the element of air. And the Knight of Swords is someone who is very outspoken, they're smart, intelligent, and they're quick and witty. I do also want you to know here in the Knight of Swords that they can sometimes struggle to find a way to speak empathetically. They can sometimes struggle to find the right words that show that they're compassionate. That doesn't mean that they are not a compassionate person on the inside. It's just that they sometimes find it hard to communicate what's really going on beneath the surface. I see here within the Ace of Blades or the Ace of Swords, however you'd like to call it, both represent the element of air, that you are going to enter into a new relationship with the Knight of Swords person. So they could be just a friend, but maybe more as well, group number 3. And I can see here that this fresh relationship is going to bring to you more balance. It's going to bring to you another viewpoint, another point of reference. So this friendship or just connection in general is a beneficial one. Next up, we've got the Two of Rods. So you're going to be like two peas in a pod with this person, group number 3. This is going to become a close friend, or as already mentioned, a lover with whom you can spend a lot of time, as you both have the same interests and a similar worldview, but at the same time you're also quite different, which is why you're able to learn a lot from them. They are most likely a lot more outgoing and self-confident, and that's rubbing off on you. And I can see that what you need to hear is that, yeah, there are people in your life or who are still going to enter your life sooner rather than later, who will have a very positive effect on your confidence. It doesn't always just have to be people stripping away at your confidence and you building it by yourself in silence or solitude. There are definitely uplifting people coming towards you. The Three of Coins shows me in connectivity to the Ace of Blades, the Two of Rods, and the Knight of Swords, and everything we were talking about here, that this is someone with whom you're most likely going to be involved with business-wise. And I can definitely also see here within the Three of Coins that you're going to find that collaborating with them brings such an awesome dynamic into your workflow. The Queen of Blades and the Page of Blades shows me even more air sign energy. So it's completely clear here that the next person you will connect with profoundly, or just a relationship overall that's going to grow and really root itself for you, is a relationship with an air sign. So think a Gemini, think an Aquarius, think Libra energy. Those are all the air signs, and I can see that an air sign is definitely going to play a very important role within your life and lifestyle, group number 3. Next up, we've got the Knight of Coins. The Knight of Coins is a knight of all things of the earthly realms. So while you have a lot of air sign energy, which is the energy of communication, you also have energy here that has to do with earthly things such as money, a job, finances, health. You get the drill, group number 3. So the Three of Coins as well as the Knight of Coins does show me here that this is a great fit for you. And one thing that you also must know in here is that in order to build something really big, business-wise, you will have to collaborate with other people. You're not someone who can just do everything by themselves. All amazing and huge projects which have a profound impact on the world or society, the community that you live in, those are usually built by multiple people, dozens or hundreds of different people. And I want you to know here in the Lemon that it's important for you to cleanse beliefs of having to be a lone wolf and having to do things by yourself. If you have been let down in your life a lot, group number 3, and you've slowly but surely learned that if you want to rely on something to be done, you just have to do it yourself, do know here within the Lemon that that belief is slowly but surely being eradicated by having air signs within your life who are communicating with you, keeping you in the loop. That's what they're really good at. And also just showing you some emotions that you haven't experienced before. And this is actually pretty rare. So know that when air signs are very open, very emotional with you, they are really trying. And I see that in the cucumber, that you have air signs in your life who are of great importance, who are trying to connect with you on a deeper level and actually show you that, yeah, there are people here who are truly rooting for you, who truly want the best for you, and who you can believe in. I see here within the chili for you, group number 3, that one thing you need to know is to make sure that you try to maintain balance as much as you possibly can within your life. I see that here with the chili as well as the justice card, group number 3. So of course, have fun, stimulate yourself in every way and shape possible, whether that be through food, whether that be through being intimate with another person, whether that be mental stimulation, which I see is really important for you as you are surrounded by all of these very intelligent air signs who like to have you around because you stimulate them just as much as they stimulate you. I do want you to know that it's important for you to stay on track with keeping yourself busy, as I also see in the younger man that we now have a bit more of a face to this person. Not necessarily that the younger man depiction is the actual depiction of this person coming into your life, but we know they identify as male. We already knew here within the Knight of Swords that they have this phallic energy. They have very strong, like, masculine energy, as they're not just a knight, but they're also paired up with the suit of swords, which is a masculine suit. As you can see, all of the depictions are masculine depictions. We had the Page of Blades, which is identical to the Page of Swords. We had the Queen of Blades. We had the Ace of Blades, and the Two of Rods is another phallic depiction. So a lot of masculine energy that is surrounding this person who's entering your life, who will bring you a lot of great energy. And I can see here within the crown, we've got some honor and respect coming towards you, group number 3, which is always awesome to see and receive. I mean, actually being given credit for all of your hard work, as well as receiving respect, being respected in your community, that just always feels good. And that's one thing that I can see in the crown that you must know. The kite shows me here that you're going on a vacation soon, that you're going to book something and just overall leave your current place, your current location, just for a little time out, for a little reset, group number 3, which is most likely a welcome change from what you have been experiencing. The elephant shows me a long journey, either physically or mentally, and it will leave you wiser in the end. Surrounding yourself with all of this air sign energy and just having all of these air signs influence you is definitely a big helper when it comes to gaining wisdom. But I also want you to understand here that all of the things you've been through, they're leaving you a lot wiser in the end, just as the elephant is trying to communicate. So when you're going through something tough, group number 3, remind yourself of the fact that with every hurdle, you're growing as a person. With every difficulty that you're overcoming, you're able to know more about what you're capable of. You can learn more about yourself and who you really are, about your integrity, and the things that you're able to get through unharmed, because you'd be surprised at how strong that you truly are, group 3. The snow moon shows me here that one thing that you need to also know is that as long as your intentions are pure, success is something that won't follow too far behind your actions. But it's important that you keep purity in everything that you do. So whether it's running a business or whether it's just meeting up with other people, spending time with them, do it for the right reasons, not just because you think you will increase your financial stability or you may increase where you stand in the social hierarchy. Make sure that you're spending time with people for the right reasons, that you're not trying to impress people just because you think it will serve you or make you look good to have them as part of your contacts. And if you start a business, start the business because you're passionate about the business in the first place. Don't try to just get into a business that you think is good for making money, because it won't last. Every business has its ups and downs, group 3. In the waxing gibbous 4, I do also see here that your willpower is far superior to a lot of other people. And I can see here that you've most likely been wanting a break for a while. I see that in connectivity to the kite. So this vacation is coming at just the right moment and time. Don't say no to it, as the waxing gibbous 4 is also connected to the number 13, which shows me that this is most likely going to be the only opportunity. So if you get the opportunity to go on vacation soon, know that this particular location is only going to be available during this time, okay, this chance, so take it. I can see here within the waning gibbous 6, there's a lot of wisdom that's prepared for you to just snatch, for you to make part of your existence. We spoke about that here with the elephant as well. The waning gibbous 6 is also connected to the master number 22. The master number 22 is not only a number of wisdom, but also a number of balance, a number of understanding that life is to a certain degree about learning and taking in and also putting out and knowing exactly how much your ratio is at any given point. If you're trying to learn something new, you're of course going to want to take in more information than you're putting out. But if you're creating and if you're, for example, putting out content, you're of course going to have to produce a little bit more than you're taking in, but this continues to vary. And I can see here that this is a big strength of yours, knowing exactly when to research and when to perform. And this is one thing I truly understand can be difficult, group number 3, because for me, for example, it is a fine line and a balancing act between continuously learning about tarot, oracle cards, and divination, but also putting out content and knowing when I need to take a step back and simply take in and not put out content, right? When I need to be learning instead of producing, and when I need to produce instead of learn, and finding that balance and also being able to rest in between, to take sufficient amounts of rest and relaxation time. But this goes really well with your vacation, group 3, and the fact that it is your strength, knowing exactly how much time you should invest in these different areas of your life, in these different areas of your existence, and understanding when you're doing too much and when you should take a step back and simply just take in new information. Magic shows me that one thing that you need to hear is the fact that you are going to be able to make some things happen that you thought were too much. So a lifestyle that you didn't expect yourself to live. I see here within the mystery that right now, that lifestyle is still completely off limits to you. So this could be, for example, a luxurious lifestyle or a lifestyle in which you're spending a lot of time in nature. And because it's not something that was passed down to you, you are the first one in your family who is living life in this way. It feels like magic. Everything is kind of a bit of a mystery. Everything needs to be figured out for the first time by you, because you don't have anyone guiding you or holding your hand or explaining absolutely everything to you, group number 3. But that is also really helpful as you're able to create your own traditions and your own way of living life. And furthermore, do know here that all of the hardships you've been through are actually just making you a wiser person when it comes to creating a life of your dreams and where your expectations and needs are met. So group 3, this is the first part of your reading that I received for you with everything that you need to hear right now. Leave a little lemon emoji down below in the comment section to let me and others know that you've made it to the end of part 1 of your reading. However, now scroll down into the description box, click the timestamp of your zodiac sign, and you'll be fast forwarded to part 2 of your prediction, which is even more detailed and personalized. So I'll catch you over there. Hello, group number 4, and welcome to your reading about everything that you need to hear right now. You chose the messages from your animal spirit guides oracle deck, as well as the black obsidian crystal. Let's first do a close-up of the crystal of your choice. This is the beautiful black obsidian, and I must say it's looking really amazing today. today and it feels amazing. I wish that you could feel the energy right here with me, but hopefully you're still getting some of its energetic frequency through the screen. The black obsidian is a highly protective crystal which absorbs negative energies and frequencies, and I definitely also want you to know here that the black obsidian is a protective stone when it comes to warding off anything that's unwanted in your life in general, which is maybe why you intuitively felt drawn to this stone and this crystal. But let's move into your reading so we can figure out what you need to hear. First up, we've got the blue heron. So in the blue heron, I can see that you need to hear to make a stand for what you believe in and do what feels right in spite of any judgment or disapproval from others. Doesn't matter whether it's your boss, a family member, whether it's a friend, or just the general public. Wear what you want to wear and don't pay any mind to whether someone on the street or in a store is going to say anything to you or look at you in a funny way. Make decisions that you want to make in your career and your professional life, regardless of whether your friends and family approve of it, if you know that that's what's right for you. I can see here within the polar bear that you must stand up for yourself, and this is something that you need to hear right now, and speak your truth respectfully and compassionately with no attachment to the outcome. So when you let others know what you're doing with your life moving forward, group number 4, don't feel as though you have to hold back or somehow make up a lie or swindle just in order to make them feel more comfortable. Say it how it is. Be compassionate and know that other people's feelings might be hurt by your life's decisions, but also don't attach your emotions to an outcome while speaking to others. Don't expect others to react in a certain way, because when you have an expectation, then of course you can be let down so much more heavily than if you just go into speaking to people very openly and in a transparent way about what you're wanting to do with your life moving forward. So group 4, it seems as though you're coming to this crossroads in your life where you have to stand up for yourself and speak your truth no matter what anyone may say or how others may feel about it. Next up, we've got the tiger for you. In the tiger, I can see that you're being called upon to provide leadership, so trust that you're capable of doing so. And the first step is leading yourself. The first step is being honest to friends, family, and those closest to you about your life's dreams and also maybe what you want to do romantically and in your personal life. Maybe you do not want children, or you want to be with someone who identifies as male or female or doesn't look at that in a black or white way at all, and you know that people around you may disapprove of your unconventional choices. But I see here in the tiger that they're disapproving because you're not meant to fit in with them. You're not meant to be part of the sheep, so to say, but you are meant to lead and to stand out. But it's important for you to trust that you're capable of doing so, so you can remove yourself from a place of judgment to people understanding that you're a leader, you're an innovator, you're the type of person who is a role model for others who are different. Next up, we've got the elk, or wapiti, however you'd like to call it. Stand tall and maintain your dignity no matter what, and others will treat you with the respect that you deserve. Group number 4. This is a really, really important way for you to lead your life from now on moving forward, standing up tall and also maintaining your dignity no matter the situation. If you don't respect yourself, group number 4, nobody else will. It starts with you. So if you're unsure about yourself, your decisions, if you're unsure about your self-worth, then that will really shine through energetically, but also physically, and other people will start to doubt you or will use that little wiggle room that you've created in order to make you feel small or in order to control you and your further decisions. Because keep in mind, whenever someone tries to control another person, they know that their best bet is trying to control someone who isn't super confident in themselves. And I do want you to know here in the peppermint that it's important for you to already see yourself as a success. You don't need to have any types of trophies or any type of recognition from other people to already be confident in your abilities, group number 4. For example, if you are a creative, you don't need to first have a Grammy or a Golden Globe Award, an Oscar. You don't need to have some of your art being published or someone to have already purchased your art in order to know that you can be a successful artist, whichever way, shape, or form you create your art in. You have to already believe in your success ahead of time in order to convince others of it. You can't first wait for the world to give you confidence before you put love and confidence into yourself and into your own ventures. I can see here within the geranium that you have some deep healing to do when it comes to giving yourself credit where credit is due, and also giving yourself those pats on the back, being your own biggest cheerleader, and truly believing in the fact that you are successful, group number 4, and that your way of success is valid and it is important and it is worth celebrating. Not making yourself small or more digestible just in order for others to not feel as though you're being pompous or you're being overly cocky. A good amount of confidence is something that can take you so far, and it really does take a lot to be cocky, group number 4. And if you're here within this reading, you picked the black obsidian and you're not really the type of person who would ever even be worried about coming off in a cocky way, I can already tell you now, you're most likely not going to be the type of person that grows too confident. You're always going to be the type of person who is more low-key, who is more chill, and who is more humble. So any extra confidence that you can gain, take it and give it to yourself. I see here within the Tarragon that it's also super important for you to take a little bit of time to regenerate and to chill, and especially if you feel really pressured, to give yourself those pats on the back, because there are some days you just can't turn them around. There are some days where even though you try to maintain a positive attitude and even though you try to do the best that you possibly can, group number 4, you will just not always gel with every single day. Some days will feel like a write-off, and some days you will just be exhausted and tired from even having to try to attempt to live and just be in a situation where you're doing your day-to-day things, where you're running your errands, and that's okay. Those are the days that symbolize regeneration is needed, and that show you that maybe healing is also just taking a step back and not focusing on what you think success looks like, but just understanding that you waking up this morning and you even taking the time to get out of bed, to do the things that you've done, however much or little that is, that's already worth celebrating, and that is already a success. I can see here within the chrysanthemum that we have longevity here for you. So one thing that you need to hear is that your plans have longevity. Don't let anybody tell you that whatever you're trying to create in your life isn't something with longevity. Of course, every industry is going to be different, and you will have to innovate no matter what industry you're in. For example, being a YouTuber or owning an e-commerce business, that is just my example from my world, group number 4. Of course, 10 years from now, the business is going to move in a different way. Maybe being a YouTuber is going to shift profoundly. Nobody knows what's going to happen 10 years from now, but that shouldn't stop you from going after your dreams. Of course, you're always going to have to innovate, to stay on the ball, to move wherever the business world is going, but that doesn't mean that you're going to fail. You're simply going to have to adapt. So don't let other people telling you that, oh, this industry or business is unsafe unstable, don't let that stop you from going after what you really want, because at the end of the day, all you need to do is adapt and go with the times. And if you're passionate about something, you will be more than capable of doing so. But let's move further into your reading, group number 4. We have only just scratched the surface. And by the way, leave a little tiger emoji down below in the comment section to let me and others know that this is the group that you chose and that you're still here. We've got the Knight of Blades, group number 4. In the Knight of Blades, I can see the Knight of Air signs, as the suit of blades corresponds to the element of air. So the Knight of Blades shows me someone inspiring you here, someone who is very intelligent and young. So maybe you're linking up with someone who has always had really good grades, who is very successful, or you're just reading autobiographies, for example, by people who have created a lot of wealth and success for themselves by problem solving. I can see here within the 10 of elixirs that this is bringing you a lot of great ideas, but just overall in your life, one thing that you need to hear, group number 4, is that everything will be fine in your personal life, even if your family or friends or the people who you're opening up to about who you are do not agree with your choices in life. And also do know that you won't always be the odd one out. There are just different times where we go through difficulties, where we go through standing out, and it feels like it's a negative thing, but you must stand up for what you believe in and stay true to yourself. Another example that I have from my own personal experience, group number 4, is when I first went plant-based. That was like 8 or 9 years ago. There was barely any plant-based foods, especially here in Switzerland, and I was considered crazy if I even said that I was plant-based. People kind of lost it a little bit. They were rude, they were very mean, they asked so many ridiculous questions and overstepped boundaries, and all of a sudden everybody was a dietitian who knew what was best for me, not knowing why I had even made that decision and how it even served me, and the fact that it made me feel so much healthier and better, and probably actually saved me from an early demise. They didn't know any of that. All they knew is that, oh, that was bad, and it was just a weird trend going on by extremists. And now all of a sudden it's a lot more accepted being plant-based. There are a lot more options. But if it wasn't for me and another group of people who stuck to what they were doing, maybe we wouldn't be here. And if it wasn't for the people who came before me, who were plant-based way before me, decades before me, who stuck to that and what they believed in when it came to that, I may have never even known that a lifestyle such as this one exists, which really suited me, my needs, and my beliefs. And again, you can apply this to the areas of your life where you see that same dynamic happening. And just think to yourself that you can be a pioneer for the next generation and the people coming after you. But it is, of course, important that you stick to those beliefs and that you don't allow for anyone to make you feel as though they're wrong, even though you know they're very right for you. I can see here within the Ace of Blades, group number 4, that having new and innovative ideas, that's just a very natural thing for you. And I do also see that you will find great ways to reconnect with the world, your family, and yourself, to calm yourself and remind yourself that even if people don't agree with you temporarily, that doesn't mean that it's forever going to cause a rift, especially with those who truly care about you. If someone really cares about you, and that's what the Six of Rods represents, they will be more passionate about getting along with you, about being victorious together, about living in gratitude and happiness and in a place of mutual respect, rather than being right and confining you to a little box or a little space and confinement that you don't belong in, that you clearly don't fit into, and that you clearly do not want to reside in for the rest of your life. So the people who really do care about you, they won't hold the way you're leading your life against you. And those who care so much about what you do and have so much to say about it, know that at the end of the day, they don't care as much about you as they care about an image. And it can be very hard to hear that, especially if you are, for example, the child of a parent who cares more about how the family looks like or what you appear to be to the outside world, how that makes them look like if you make these choices that maybe the community or the society you grew up in doesn't approve of. That is their issue. But at the end of the day, you cannot lead a life that doesn't fit with who you really are just in order to maintain their false image, their fake image that they're trying to portray, because it's really not your responsibility. And at the end of the day, no one's going to come to you when you're spending your last waking moments and say, thank you for pretending like you were something that you weren't, just in order to uphold my image in this world and not make people question me. You need to lead your life for you. And if that means that it makes someone else feel uncomfortable or they're worried about their own personal image, then that is not up to you to fix. Then they have some other work to do. I can see here within the waxing gibbous 2, group number 4, that of course all of this comes with a little bit of fear, and I really hope that you can appreciate my very open and honest approach to my readings. I don't like to sugarcoat anything. Some readings are very, how should I say, light and fluffy, and I would say pink if I could describe them in a color. And some readings do have some very heavy and real messages in them, and I simply like to convey the messages however they come through. So the waxing gibbous 2 shows me that you of course have fears about being alone in this world and about ostracizing social contacts in your life, but do also know here in the waxing gibbous 2 that facing these fears is an important part of your path, and it's also an important test to figure out who really truly cares about your happiness and who just cares about their own image. But aside from that, the wolf moon shows me that you just have so many bigger things to worry about than what other people may think of you. The wolf moon shows me a hunger in you to follow through with some fresh, funky, cool ideas that you have here within the Ace of Blades. So for example, business ideas that you have, one-of-a-kind ideas. We also have the number 29. As the number 29 can only be divided by 1 and itself. So do know here within the wolf moon that you are the type of person who may come up with some Steve Jobs type of thing, with some Bill Gates ideas, and it's important for you to stay hungry, to keep that spark going in you, and also to have faith in your ability, and knowing that there are people who came before you who have done some wild things on this planet, so you can do the same, group number 4. Okay, don't doubt your abilities, as I can see that sometimes you're really your own biggest hurdle that you have to overcome, as you can often underestimate your capabilities. The dark moon shows me here that there's some sort of void that you need to hear about and that we need to talk about. The void corresponds to the number 1, and I want you to know in connectivity to the number 29, which we had in the wolf moon, which again can only be divided by the number 1 as well as 29, and then we have the number 1, which can only be divided by itself if we want to end up with whole numbers. Do know here in the dark moon that not having this hunger or kind of quenching it with something that doesn't suit, that you're not supposed to quench it with, will leave you feeling very empty. You're the type of person that has to go after their ideas. You have to try to at least do the crazy things that you've thought up within your head. So don't let anybody tell you that your dreams are too big, group number 4, because if you don't go after your dreams, you will always have this void, and you will always have kind of stuffed this hunger with something that didn't actually fill you up, that didn't actually give you what you needed of life. So what you really need to hear is to go after the things that excite you. Next up, we've got the fan, which speaks of romance, celebration, and partying, just having a good time. I see that here with the 10 of elixirs, that's why you're feeling really good emotionally speaking. You're feeling really good about your social life, because they're just celebrations, parties, your romantic life is flourishing. And I can see here in the fair woman that there are some dealings with a woman with blonde, gray, or white hair, some sort of relationship that is important. I want you to know here that they have a lot of air sign energy, so think Libra, Gemini, or Aquarius, and this is actually a good relationship. I see that here in the Six of Rods, the Worm Moon, as well as the Knight of Blades, that this is the type of person who is very intelligent. They will give you some sort of advice. So this could be a doctor, it could be a midwife type of person, it could be a therapist, and this is a relationship that serves you. This is something you need to know. They're keeping your life in balance, in check. They're helping you stay sane in some way, shape, or form. And this woman in particular is kind of like a bit of a rock to you. Group number 4 is someone who really serves you by being in your life that you're supposed to hold on to. So they may already be in your life, or they're coming into your life very, very soon. So group 4, this is the first part of your prediction that I've received for you, and I hope you enjoyed it and that you found it insightful. Feel free to leave a comment at any point of your reading letting me know. But as already mentioned, this is only part 1 of your prediction. Now scroll down into the description box as well as the top of the comment section, whichever one suits you. Click the timestamp of your zodiac sign and I'll catch you during part 2 of your prediction. Hello all my beautiful Aries babies, and welcome to part 2 of your reading on everything that you must hear. So let's move into it so we can figure out exactly what these messages are. Eliminate distractions, my Aries babies. Stop shining light on things you are not. How can you reclaim your power? This is a question that you need to hear, and this is definitely something that you need to take very seriously. Eliminating distractions, be it other people just constantly giving you advice that is not really working for your particular situation. Also eliminating distractions as in turning off your phone, your emails, making sure that you have some electronics free time, some time off of the internet, maybe even deactivating some social media accounts for a little bit and just moving completely away from all things virtual and just being rooted in the real world for a little longer than usual. That is one thing that you need to hear. And I know it may seem counterintuitive for a YouTuber to say that to you, but I want what's best for all my beautiful Aries babies. And if that means being offline and not watching my videos and not engaging with my content or connecting with me via Instagram, then that's what it is. Some of us just need more time offline than others. As an Aries, you're someone who is super energetic, adventurous, you're very dynamic and quick-witted, and it's important that you don't lose that spark of yours. I can see here within the Devil that failing to do so is definitely something that can be very enticing, because having distractions is so helpful. It can be very comforting to know that you can just scroll through your phone when you're going through a tough time and, well, distract yourself from things that you maybe don't want to deal with or you don't want to face. So I do want you to know here in the Devil that it's natural to find it hard to eliminate distractions or be offline, especially when the whole world seems to constantly be online and the whole world seems to be addicted to knowing what's going on during every single waking moment. I see here within the Eight of Coins that if you're able to just deactivate for a little bit, maybe even put your phone in a different room and just do some deep work where you can be in your flow state for a couple hours, the Eight of Coins shows me that you will really flourish and progress so much more quickly. You will move forward and make such great progress in a short amount of time compared to if you're constantly in a state of other people being able to access your space and your energy. If you have, for example, your mail application open and every time someone sends you an email, you get like a little notification or you hear the sound of a new email or text message or DM coming in, that is distracting. You may not see it as a big deal, but but it's taking you out of your flow state. And every single time you get distracted, this is scientifically proven, it takes like 20 minutes to get back into a flow state where it's almost like time and space is distorted and you can just work without even realizing how quickly time goes by. So think about it. If 3 times an hour you are distracted, which is very likely to happen in this day and age, if someone likes your photo on Instagram, then 10 minutes later someone sends you an email, then 20 minutes later you get a text message, and so on and so forth throughout the day, then you will never be able to enter your flow state, which is where the 8 of coins, the devil, as well as this eliminate distraction card, is trying to communicate to you that what you need to hear is to be proactive about it. Put your phone on flight mode, turn off the internet on your laptop, and sit into some deep work. If you have to be reachable, tell some people that, during these hours, I'm in deep work, I'm in my flow state. You will not be able to contact me because I am doing deep work, because I'm eliminating distractions. But after that, feel free to let me know what you need from me. So you can keep people in the loop, and you can make this something that works beautifully with your family as well as coworkers and boss. I see here in Illumination that the more you actually focus on controlling social media and your smart devices and not them controlling you, the more epiphanies you will experience, the more you will find that you are sensitive to life in general, and you come to more realizations about what's really important in this world and in this lifetime for you. I can see here within the Death card that we have this ending of an era in your life coming for you, my beautiful Aries babies. And maybe it's the era of allowing for social media to control you and your body image and how you feel about your looks and your inner and outer beauty, your intelligence, and your accomplishments. So this is a really positive thing that I can see here. And in connectivity to the devil, there will of course be temptation to fall back into old patterns of maybe comparing your accomplishments, your body, your photos, just things about yourself on social media, but you're realizing more and more how comparison is really the root of unhappiness. I can see here within mystery that you are truly mystified by people who just lead life on their own terms and maybe don't even have social media and aren't even really engaged in it at all, and that just overall you are also in a state where you want to know more about what it's like to be a bit more off-grid, to be a bit more alternative than the average person. So you will be watching documentaries and looking at things of people who are leading lifestyles that are unconventional and letting yourself be inspired. As I can also see here in the grouse, expressing yourself through rhythm and movement by drumming and dancing, and just overall being less afraid about what your body looks like and more into what it feels like, what feels right, and what kind of feels too strenuous is how you're moving forward. Because I definitely feel as though there's always this aesthetic that you seem to need to have when it comes to moving your body or dancing or just generally doing things. And I see here in the grouse that you're questioning whether that's even healthy, which by the way, it is not. It's always best to do what your body is telling you to do, not what the media tells you looks good, or that you should be this flexible or to be able to move your body in this way. We're all so different. So there's not a one way that's healthiest for you to, for example, work out or dance or simply just be in your own body. Next up, we've got the platypus. It's all about stopping the complaining and focusing your attention on blessings in your life and all of the things that are good. So you're doing like a no complain month or a no complain kind of streak, and the platypus shows me in connectivity to the mystery that you're finding it doesn't even make any sense for you to complain about anything because it literally doesn't change the outcome, and you've just grown out of being in a stage of gossip giving you any gratification. You've grown out of feeling as though you want to complain about things. You'd rather do something about anything that doesn't suit you. The shark shows that your instincts are to be trusted, and that they will help you to discern the truth of the situation. So just as the shark uses its instincts in order to know where prey is or where to go to next in order to lead a life that is abundant and where it can ensure that it has enough food and enough resources, you can do the same with your very own instincts. All my Aries babies, don't underestimate what you're capable of, as you can sometimes write things off very quickly as you're impulsive and sometimes also a little bit impatient. A bit of a daredevil side of you comes out whenever people challenge you, but that's also an important moment for you to ask yourself, are you doing something because you want to prove them wrong, or are you doing something because it will also serve you? Don't allow for people who know that you're a bit of a daredevil and that you're a bit of a hard-headed individual to challenge you to do something that in the end will create a disservice to your life and yourself, or maybe even be dangerous for you. I can see within the manatee that you need to hear to accept the situation as it is rather than fighting to change it. And this moves in really beautifully with the platypus and no longer complaining, no longer finding things that aren't serving you in your life, and instead just focusing on what is there, just focusing on what the things are in your life that bring you joy, what types of things are distracting you from where you're really going and from building a life of your dreams, and what things that you can leave behind and you no longer identify with, but also celebrating all of the big changes that you've made and all of the ways in which you have grown. So all of my beautiful Aries babies, this is everything that you needed to hear right now. I hope that you enjoyed it and that you found it insightful. Make sure you leave a little shark emoji down below in the comment section to let me and others know that you are in fact an Aries baby and that you were here all the way to the end. Thank you so much for spending this divine time and space with me, and I'll catch you during one of my upcoming predictions. Hello, all my beautiful Taurus babies of the world, and welcome to this part of your prediction where we speak about everything that your zodiac sign needs to hear. So let's get straight into it. Lean back, relax, and enjoy, my beautiful Taurus babies. We've got the cauliflower, the strawberry, and the tomato. So I can see here a very agreeable transition into some romantic love. So if you're already in a relationship, know that the spark will be rekindled. Know that just overall your relationship is going to move back to a very intense place, to a honeymoon phase. And if you are a single beautiful Taurus, do know here that you're transitioning into a relationship, into a love life that everybody is excited about. Everyone in your family loves it. They are in agreement and they are definitely in full support about how your love life is developing and where it's going for you, my beautiful Taurus babies. I see here within the caterpillar that things are definitely changing a lot. Things won't always be this way, and big changes are coming in your love life and just overall in the structure of your existence. So enjoy your life right now, how it is, while it lasts, as you're going through a transitional phase, and you're going to look back and think to yourself, wow, I really did not expect for all of this to happen. But in the end, there will be a big increase in love, which is amazing. I see in the Wolverine that you're a lot tougher than you think that you are, and you can overcome way more obstacles than you were even aware of, my beautiful Taurus babies. So therefore, quit underestimating yourself and remind yourself of the fact that you've been through quite a bit and you're more resilient than you give yourself credit for. The weasel shows me that you need to hear to be silent, pay attention, and simply observe with your eyes, ears, and physical feelings what is happening inside and all around you. Paying a little bit more attention to your internal life and existence, my beautiful Taurus babies. This is definitely something that isn't necessarily easy for you, as often for Taurus babies it can be difficult to speak about feelings or to really know what's going on with you on an internal level, on a very intricate minuscule scale. So I can see here within the weasel that getting to know yourself during this transitional phase is going to serve you, and it's also going to definitely show you that you can confront things that you're a little bit uncomfortable with, which again, it could be looking at feelings in such great detail, talking about them and dissecting them. Next up, we've got the humpback whale. Music is essential to your healing and well-being, whether singing, playing an instrument, or listening. All my beautiful Taurus babies, whether you are amazing at creating music, at making music, at singing along or not, music is important, even if that means you're just listening. Actually, being a good listener is something that comes in handy in so many different shapes and ways in life. So listening to music can also train you to simply lean back, listen to what another person is singing or saying or rapping, and know here in the humpback whale that this is essential for you to heal, to have time to reflect, and to guide you through difficult times, to feel as though you have a platform with which you can connect. The emu shows me here that this is a good time to go on a new adventure. As a Taurus baby, you are definitely someone who likes routine. You like what you know, and you know what you like. As a Taurus, you are someone who can be a little bit inflexible, as you are patient and reliable, and you're very security loving, so big changes are not always your thing. So seeing that there's a lot of change coming for you, it can definitely be something that pushes you over the edge, or at least to the edge, but know that this is the best time in your life for a new adventure. You're in a place where you'll never be, obviously, as young as you are right now, and you're in a place of good health mentally and physically, which is why this is a great time for you to go on a trip or just overall try out a new adventure. This broken wishbone does show me here that wishes with which you are too, how should I say, too rigid, those will not be granted, all my beautiful Taurus babies. And I have to be honest with you in these readings. I don't just read in order to tell you everything that you want to hear. I read in order to tell you the truth, so you can use this information to your advantage. So know here in the broken wishbone, as well as the caterpillar, that you wishing for something and being very rigid on it is most likely not going to be granted or work out. For example, if you wish to be in a very, very specific position, in a very specific company, so in your professional life, if there's just only one thing that you wish for and you're happy with, and there's absolutely no other scenario that would be good for you, you're most likely going to have to go through a big learning process in order to learn to appreciate that sometimes the things that you want, or the only wish or dream that you have for yourself, isn't always allowing you to reach your highest potential, and isn't always what the universe has in mind for you, or what you're meant to do in this lifetime. Sometimes you're destined to so many greater things than you could even imagine, and sometimes you're wishing and dreaming way too small. And I can see here within the hand that it's okay for you to reach out and ask for help or assistance. And this is something that all my beautiful Taurus babies, you need to learn. It does not make you a burden. It does not mean that you're not successful. It simply means that you are open to allowing for other people's insight and other people's help to allow for you to get to that next stage of success. I see here within the firecracker that there's a lot of excitement coming in your life next. So the things that you really do need to hear is to be open-minded and to try to be a little bit more flexible than usual. I know this is pushing all my beautiful Taurus babies out of your comfort zones, but this is an exciting time. This is a great time for you to be alive, to experiment with new things, to see new things, and to not be too rigid about the outcome that you desire. Rather than that, be open-minded as often the universe has a lot more in store for you than you had in store for yourself or you wished for yourself, my beautiful Taurus babies. So this is the second part of your prediction. I hope you enjoyed it and that you found it insightful. Leave a strawberry emoji down below in the comment section to let me and others know that you were here and that you are in fact a Taurus baby. Thank you so much for spending this divine time and space with me, and I'll catch you during one of my upcoming predictions. Hello, all my beautiful Gemini babies, and welcome to the second and even more personalized part of your prediction of everything that you need to know. Let's get straight into it. All you need to do is lean back, relax, and continue to enjoy your personal reading. First up, we've got the dahlia, we've got the banana, as well as the broccoli. Let's talk about it, all my beautiful Gemini babies. In the dahlia, I can see that what you need to hear is that refinement is something to focus on moving forward, making sure that you're refining your skills rather than overloading your plate and trying to learn too many new things, because it's all about that balance and duality. It's all about finding that perfect balance between learning new things, but also working on what you already have in your little skill repertoire. I can see here within the broccoli that you're meant to refine your leadership skills when it comes to the skills that you already possess and already own and already bring with you in your daily grind and in your day-to-day life. So don't be afraid to focus a little bit more on what already exists rather than trying to bring new things into your life. Next up, we've got the gavel. So in the gavel, I can see here that there's some sort of involvement with the law that you need to know about. Let's figure out exactly what that's all about. We've got the dogs. I can see here that this definitely has to do with you being backed up by friends as well. I see that here within the gavel. So they're going to be by your side and on your side. They definitely understand why you're going through this situation or why it's so important for you to stick to your guns, to stick to your integrity. We've got the bird flying, so there is news on the way. If you're actually right now involved in some sort of legal proceedings, know here that you will receive news about it, and I can see that you will be taken care of in difficult times. So it seems here as though any type of legal proceedings or anything that has to do with the law, with lawyers, with official documents is going to turn out in a way that is favorable for you. Of course, it can be a little nerve-wracking, and you will have friends by your side that are keeping you in a state of feeling calm, feeling like you have support, so you don't freak out too much, all my beautiful Gemini babies, as you are definitely a sign that is very versatile and witty, but you can get nervous and become tense quite easily when stressed. So do know here that you will have a little support system by your side, and you will be taken care of in any type of difficult times and in any challenging situations that you experience. So don't worry about that. Part of everything that you need to hear is that you can chill and relax when it comes to that. Next up, we've got success. You'll be successful in these endeavors, whether it comes to refining your skills or these types of involvements with the law. So not every involvement with the law has to be scary or has to end up in a negative way. I can see that this will actually end up in success. Nevertheless, dealing with anxiety is a part of life that you will just have to learn to get used to and just have to learn to read for yourself. Like reading situations, knowing exactly whether a situation is in or out of your control and whether it is worth stressing over. All my beautiful Gemini babies, you're definitely very inquisitive, but because you are very witty and quick and in the sense also one of the more intelligent signs of the zodiac, you may sometimes struggle to distance yourself from situations and to not let them get to your head too much. So last but not least, we've got faith. All my beautiful Gemini babies, this is an important thing for you to keep in mind and to keep close by, which is your faith, which is reminding yourself here that having good intentions is all that you need at the end of the day in a situation in order for it to turn out favorably, as you know, good things do definitely attract more good to themselves. So keep that as the most important thing that you can do, even in difficult times. That is something that you must hear. So all of my beautiful Gemini babies, this is the second and even more personalized part of your prediction that I've received for you. If you've made it all the way through and you are a Gemini baby, leave a little dog emoji down below in the comment section to let me and others know. Thank you so much for being here. Take care of yourself, and I'll catch you during one of my upcoming predictions. Hello, all my fellow Cancerians of the world, and welcome to your second and even more personalized part of your prediction, where we figure out more of everything that you need to know. Let's get into it. I will be starting off with my tarot deck, which is the Gentle Heart Tarot deck. We've got the Nine of Cups. Wow, this is a really favorable sign. You definitely need to know here that things in your personal life and love life are going to flourish. We've got the Tower reversed, which is all about recovery from difficult situations. So any heartache or heartbreak that you may be experiencing is going to go by more quickly than expected. Then we've also got the Seven of Crystals, which shows me here that feeling like you're alone sometimes, or feeling as though you have to be strong for yourself, is not unusual. However, sometimes you can get a little bit in your head about that situation, as the King of Diamonds reversed does definitely show me some form of overthinking and some form of feeling like there's not enough time in the day to get everything done that you would like to, and feeling as though time is a commodity that's constantly lacking, that you're constantly behind in. So we have a lot of things that are going amazingly well for you. And then we have some things that you need to hear about that could definitely benefit from some adjustments, some mental adjustments. So starting off with the Nine of Cups and your personal life, your emotional well-being, being in a better spot and healthier place than you expected sooner rather than later. This is definitely a very favorable thing to show up. The Nine of Cups is known as the wish card in the tarot, where basically anything that you ask for, any wish that you put out into the universe, will be granted. I can see here within Hunger that you spend a lot of your time daydreaming or thinking about your dream life, and I definitely see that this is slowly but surely developing into some form of hunger, some form of you knowing that you're going to go after what you want, and you're going to keep going no matter what it takes until you get there. And I see here with Hunger, the Nine of Cups, as well as the King of Diamonds, that it's important for you to not get in your head too much, because that will cause anxiety and that will make you see more opposition than there necessarily is, or than you necessarily need to. So the more you, of course, focus on numbers of how many people fail in the endeavors that you're trying to go after, whether that's building a business or getting through school, then you will, of course, think to yourself, well, if chances are 50-50 or chances are 1 out of 10, I'm actually not that much in the green. My chances aren't that great, if I'm being super objective. But you have to remind yourself, all my beautiful Cancerians, that this is not an objective thing. You know how hungry you are for a situation. You know how much you want something to work out. So know here in the Tower reverse to not have a fatalistic worldview, or to feel as though just because the majority of people don't succeed in something that you're passionate about, that doesn't mean that you have to be one of them. After all, a portion does succeed, and that is the portion that truly wants it, that is hungry, that is not giving up, and you can align yourself with that. I can see here within Sweetness that something that you desperately need to hear is that the outcome is going to be sweet and amazing, as long as you go after the things that you know deep within you're passionate about and that you want your life to be filled with. Of course, there will always be downfalls, and of course, in every situation there are winners and losers, so to say. But I want you to understand that there are a lot of people who are not in the right spot for themselves to begin with. When it comes to numbers about businesses succeeding or the success rate of people passing exams, when it comes to their schooling, there are a lot of people who aren't really in it with their heart. So of course, they're not going to pass exams and they're not going to be hungry enough to give it their all. Of course, their business isn't going to succeed if they got into it in the first place thinking that it was just a get rich quick scheme. But the thing is, like, you need to go into it with the right intentions and you will be part of the winning squad. So trust and be very real with yourself about why you're doing things within your life. All of my beautiful Cancerians, know here that trust is an integral part of success, and furthermore also being very cautious about the type of energy or thoughts that you allow to surround yourself and your ventures with. So trusting in yourself is an important thing. It's part of everything that you need to hear, and it's also a big part of you finding that confidence to really stick to what you want to do, stick to what makes you happy, and know that you can be successful at it. I see here within the grouse that part of what you need to hear is to express yourself through rhythm and movement by drumming and dancing. So think to yourself going back to dance classes or starting out in some sort of dance class, some sort of music class if you've never been to one before, and just overall connecting your body to music, to beats, to movement. And know here that the grouse is often a sign that you've grown a little bit too stagnant in your range of movement, and that you could benefit from trying different things in order to preserve mobility in your body. Then we've got the snow leopard. In the snow leopard, you are meant to here to take some time out of your usual life and spend it in solitude. As a little crab, you can definitely be outgoing during times, but also need some time to just chill, be alone, and not have to talk to anyone, not have to explain yourself to anyone. So simply let people know that you're doing this, that you're taking some time out, that you're going through a digital detox, so you can simply chill and not have to be worried about others freaking out because they don't know what's going on with you or where you are. So all of my beautiful Cancerians, leave a little crab emoji down below in the comment section to let me and others know that you've made it to the end of the second part of your prediction and that you enjoyed it. Thank you so much for being here, and I'll catch you during one of my upcoming predictions. Hello, all my beautiful Leo babies, and welcome to the second and even more personalized part of your prediction. All you need to do is continue to lean back and relax and enjoy all of these messages of the things that you need to hear. So first up, we've got leader of the light. Where are you being called to serve and support others? So all my beautiful Leo babies, you need to grow more into your leadership role, not just putting yourself in situations where you stand out and can shine, but actually also learning about your leadership in solitude, learning about how you can be the best possible support system and leader in private by reading books, by learning, by putting yourself in situations where you're maybe uncomfortable and where you maybe have to learn some new skills. Next up, we've got breathe. This moment matters most. How can you focus on the moment and appreciate all that is well? So one thing that you need to hear here in breathe, and that moment is the one that matters most, is that every moment is important. Every moment counts, and you can change your life in an instant. All it takes is that one decision that you didn't expect to change your life forever, all my beautiful Leo babies. So keep in mind here that all of your little decisions do really matter, especially the day-to-day habits. We often underestimate how much of an impact that those have on our lives, just because on a daily basis they seem really small, they seem like they couldn't possibly have a big scale effect. But just think about it. When we compare the person who gets up every single morning 15 minutes ahead of their alarm to either do a quick workout, to write in their journal, or to prepare a healthy breakfast for them, think about them doing that for years compared to someone who simply sleeps in and just rushes through their day and doesn't get that little extra time every single day that they're dedicating to self-development. In the long run, it makes such a huge change in your lifestyle, as well as your character and your ability to do things for yourself. I can see here in the Great Awakening and walking into your truth, standing firm in your light, and how you can trust yourself more, that it's important for you to hear and to know that trusting yourself is a thing that can be built. It is definitely something that you can practice and that comes over time through gaining a lot of little successes. So remind yourself here that the more you tell yourself that you're going to do something and you actually follow through on it, the more you can walk in your truth and the more you can trust yourself, the more you learn that you are trustworthy. And that gives you a lot of extra self-confidence, and it allows you to step into a leadership role that is actually based on you knowing your capabilities and knowing that you can trust in yourself to do things the way that you really should, that would truly make you proud. So the Great Awakening is about that realization that you're not doing things in order to fit this productive mold. You're not getting up ahead of other people to work out just so you can be that girl or that boy or that person. You're doing it in order to prove to yourself every single day that you can trust that you will keep up with the things you promised yourself that you would, that you can trust that when you set your mind to something, you will actually follow through with it. Next up, we've got the blue moon, which stands for the unexpected. So one thing that you need to know is that unexpectedly, you will be a lot more disciplined than you've known yourself to be. As long as you are passionate about something, as long as it makes sense to you why you're doing something. So whether that is incorporating more meditation into your daily life, more yoga, more working out, you will become unexpectedly kind of encompassed in it and unexpectedly good at it. I can see here within the waxing give us 6 that taking action is what's coming next, and taking more action than you ever have in the past. All of my beautiful Leo babies, being unafraid to put yourself in situations that are uncomfortable, yet situations where you can prove to yourself that you'll stick to your word, not because you're trying to impress anyone else, but because you're trying to continuously prove to yourself that you are trustworthy and that when you do something or want to do something, you do it right. The waning crescent one shows me here that you're more protected than you know, my beautiful Leo babies. So even when you feel super exposed and as though the world is just kind of going in on you or being very difficult, know here in the waning crescent one that protection is something that surrounds you in the form of your angels and your guides, and they're here right now. They want you to know that they're around and that you're never really alone. I can see here within the chili that part of what you need to hear is that you can stimulate a part of yourself that has these leadership qualities by also putting yourself in unexpected leadership situations, taking on a few tasks that you never have before, and positioning yourself as the leader of those things. So think, for example, taking tasks on board in your professional life that you usually wouldn't do or that you've never done before, and that unexpectedly leading to you being a better leader in areas that you had no clue of in the past. The marigold also shows me here that the most important thing you can do is stay positive for everyone surrounding you, all my beautiful Leos. You're not only meant to be a leader professionally, but I can see here that part of what you need to hear is that when others are freaking out, you are like the rock. You are like that person who is holding everyone together, the glue that keeps people sane, but you need to remind yourself to stay positive. And also the chives show me here that divination is really serving you. So pick a card readings, for example. Also making divination part of your daily life, think to yourself lighting some incense, some sage on a daily basis, cleansing your crystals, collecting tarot decks, and using them in order to figure out what to focus on in your life moving forward. I can definitely see here within the chives that that is something that's serving you immensely and that the universe wants you to continue to engage in, as long as, of course, you also feel the healthy benefits with it. I can see here within the pansy that you're attracting a protective type of relationship into your life, as I can see in the waxing gibbous 6 and the waning crescent 1, that the more you kind of put yourself in the leadership position and in the position of being the person who takes care of others, I see that the more you're actually also attracting someone into your life who wants to do that very thing for you. So while you may sometimes feel as though you've got the weight of the world on your shoulders, do know here, all my beautiful Leo babies, that there is an unexpected partner in crime or romantic interest meant to be part of your life, who will support you, who will be there for you, and who's like a shoulder you can lean on, just as we see here within the blue moon, that is meant to be, destined to be a part of your existence. So all my beautiful Leo babies, this is the second and even more personalized part of your prediction that I received for you. I hope you enjoyed it and that you found it insightful. Leave a little blue moon emoji down below in the comment section. I believe it is actually a new moon emoji, but it just looks like a blue moon. You get the idea, all my beautiful Leo babies. So leave that below in the comment section to let me and others know that you were here and that you're a Leo. Thank you for being here and spending this divine time and space with me, and I'll catch you during one of my upcoming predictions. Hello, all my beautiful Virgo babies, and welcome to the second and even more personalized part of your prediction, where we're figuring out everything that you need to hear. So let's get straight into it. We've got the Two of Pentacles first and foremost. All my beautiful Virgo babies, you're a very reliable, practical person. When you say you're going to get something done, you get it done. You're organized. You're the type of person that others can count on. But I do also want you to know here in the Two of Pentacles that it's important for you to establish work-life balance and to not always just be focused on what you can do for others. As I see here in the Five of Wands, that will leave you feeling super resentful, and that will leave you feeling very burnt out and angry. The Eight of Swords shows me here that, of course, there are some fears that will arise about making this lifestyle change, because as a Virgo, you're definitely someone who is very diligent, you're intelligent, you know exactly what situations you need to perform in, and also what to do in pressure situations. And you're the type of person that is definitely modest, and you usually under promise and over deliver. So the Eight of Swords shows me here that you're worried about your reputation or what it may do if you say no to certain tasks or if you don't take on as much. But do know here within the Queen of Cups that you are so appreciated and loved, regardless of whether you want to dedicate your whole life to work or other people's causes, or whether you want to dedicate more of your life to yourself. Don't worry so much about what it will look like on the exterior plane, all my beautiful Virgo babies. Try to focus on what's healthiest for you on the inside, what's healthiest for you as a whole. Next up, we've got the frying pan. I can see here within the frying pan that any types of accusations or trouble that may come out of you saying no actually just highlights who is a toxic person, who is a person that only wants you to do things on their terms and doesn't really care about how it affects you health-wise. So I do see here within the finger that this is a warning of a problem entering into your life or becoming an even bigger issue in the future. So the more someone doesn't like lifestyle changes that you're doing or that you're implementing in order to create more health and space within your life, the more you actually realize, wow, this person may turn into a bigger problem. The more I enable them to feel as though they have a say in telling me how much I need to work or how much overtime that I need to spend on a project. That's when you really need to kind of side-eye a person in a situation, all of my beautiful Virgo babies, and really just focus here in the waning gibbous 2 on your personal pleasure for a change. As a Virgo, you are someone who is super giving, you're someone who is self-sacrificing, and you can also take that too far. And it's more important for you to have people that surround you who know this and who want to preserve your well-being, rather than people who are constantly just seeing you as a resource, seeing you as someone who can help them get ahead of the game. The waning gibbous 1 shows me here that there's a great deal of self-reflection that's part of your life and your existence, and where you actually should be spending more time in moving forward, as that will truly help illuminate the parts of your life where you can add more balance, and where there are also some people who are looking out more for themselves rather than looking out for you the way you would look out for them. I see here in the harvest moon, all my beautiful Virgo babies, that something big is going to come to fruition, something unexpected. And the more that you figure out exactly where areas of friction are, the more you will be able to actually enjoy and take pleasure in the things that you have accomplished and all of the things that you have been very successful at. I see here within pain that there is definitely on an internal scale some pain that you will have to deal with, and some pain that is going to come out the more successful you become and the more accomplishments and events that you're celebrating in your life, as it will actually point out here in the finger who is truly standing behind you and who is truly happy for your successes and who is kind of not that into it. And sometimes it can be super painful to see people who should be closest to you, whether it is colleagues, friends you've known for years, or parents, when you see them not really getting behind your success and being more concerned with their own standing and what you can do for them rather than what you can do for yourself. That can be kind of painful, but I do want you to know here in the Strength card, summing up your reading, that you are simply learning to be strong in situations, and to remind yourself here that oftentimes you can't really count on other people to be there 100% of the time. And you definitely often have to be your own biggest cheerleader in situations, and to learn that that's not something bad, and that's not something that has to ever hold you back. Because the truth of the matter is, there will be situations where you don't have people who you're close to there to support you. There will be situations in your professional life where you don't have a best friend or a family member who supports you no matter what, there to guide you through difficult situations, and you're definitely going to have to learn to push through on your own, and to know that you're capable of it, to know from all of the self-reflection that you've done and the fact that you have implemented work-life balance, which makes you more resilient, that you can overcome any obstacles, all my beautiful Virgo babies. And you don't have to be shy about it. You don't have to be too modest either when you reflect on your past. Tell the story, tell it how it was. And if the story was you getting through a very difficult situation and a very difficult, tumultuous life on your own, through your own personal strength, then so be it. Regardless of whether other people like to hear it or not, take credit for everything that you've worked through, and take credit for all of the times in which you were your own biggest cheerleader and motivator, and you were the person who got yourself through a tough time. So all of my beautiful Virgo babies, this is the second part of your prediction that I received for you, and I hope you enjoyed this addition to your prediction. Let me know down below by leaving an apple emoji in the comment section. Thank you so much for being here and for spending this divine time and space with me, and I'll catch you during one of my upcoming predictions. Hello, all my beautiful Libra babies, and welcome to the second and even more personalized part of your prediction, where we speak about everything that your sign needs to know. So I'll get straight into it with the Pastel Journey Tarot deck, which is the second tarot deck that I published. I absolutely love this deck. It is the cutest, most accurate thing on the planet. We've got the Nine of Wands, the Princess of Cups, the Fool, as well as the Four of Pentacles for you, all my beautiful Libra babies. In the Nine of Wands, I can see here that it's important for you to take a little bit of time to chill. The Princess of Cups shows me that you're not 100% in a place where you know when to take a time out and when to rest, and when you're kind of doing too much, all of my beautiful Libra babies. As a sign, as a whole, you're very diplomatic. You're the type of person who is charming, sociable, and you're very easygoing. So sometimes you can get yourself into situations without knowing that you're getting yourself into situations that will require a lot of strength and a lot of time from you. And that, of course, can often chew away at time that you're spending doing stuff that recharges you. So keep in mind that whenever you say yes to something, you're saying no to yourself potentially, or no to recuperation whenever you're saying yes to action. I can see here within the Fool that what's coming next for you and what you need to hear is that you are embarking on a fresh journey, a fresh cycle in your existence. And the Four of Pentacles shows me that this is a cycle of saving. This is a cycle of putting aside earthly and material resources and ensuring that you're being frugal. I see here in the Fool that there is a way that you can make it really fun and exciting. You can challenge yourself to save a certain amount and then reward yourself by investing it in something that will give you more security in the future. Because being a Libra, you can definitely be a little bit changeable when it comes to your opinion and your mindset. You can sometimes be a little bit impulsive. So saving and ensuring that you're making smart investments, financially speaking, is going to guarantee your success, all my beautiful Libra babies. That's what we have here in the star. So don't worry so much about the future and whether things will end up successfully or not. Simply take the relevant action in order to ensure that there's no other way but success. I can see here within the yoke that feelings of frustration or feeling as though you're tied down in a situation can definitely arise when you put more things on your plate than you're really able to deal with, all of my beautiful Libra babies. So try to not take on so much just because you want to be a good person, and try to not get carried away. As I can see here within the carriage, that this is a journey, a physical or a mental one, that you're going through in the next couple weeks and months, of realizing that while you are a very flirtatious, fun, and charming sign, that can sometimes get you into situations that take more out of you than they actually replenish, and that it's not always necessary. The ink pot shows me here that these are problems that are going to be resolved. These are problems that you're looking straight in the eye. So all my beautiful Libra babies, give yourself a little pat on the back right now, a little pat on the shoulder, because you're facing these shadow parts of yourself that you could maybe improve on. You're facing parts of yourself and looking at them through a very objective lens that you can definitely be better at. And there are a lot of signs who struggle with self-reflection, or who straight up just kind of ignore any issues that may arise, but not you, all my beautiful Libra babies. You are definitely transitioning into being the best version of yourself, the highest version of yourself, and you're of course only able to do so if you master the art of self-reflection, or at least try to engage in the art of self-reflection and looking at the things that you can improve on. And that doesn't mean nitpicking or being hard on yourself. That simply means being honest with yourself about areas in your life where you can maybe also give yourself more time to grow, or give yourself more space from other people and work. I see here within the Mayoram that happiness is what's coming next for you. We've had this guaranteed success show up in form of the star within your reading. Now having the Mayoram definitely also shows that we've got happiness, problems being resolved as we have here in the ink pot, you saving and putting aside more resources and just overall being a more mature version of yourself. And this is also attracting more love into your life. I see that here within the tomato or tomato, however you like to pronounce it, all of my beautiful Libra babies. So the future is looking bright and actually very favorable for you. And we can see a very straightforward version of yourself emerging that isn't afraid to look at the dark side, look at your shadow self and the things that you can improve on, the things that you can do better. And that is actually bringing a lot of prosperity and happiness and success into your life, because it shows that you're fearless and it shows that you're putting the ego aside and allowing for yourself to be very honest. So all of my beautiful Libra babies, this is the reading that I received for you. This is everything that you need to hear. I hope that it resonated and that it brought you a lot of insight. Leave a star emoji down below in the comment section to let me and others know that you are in fact a Libra baby and you've made it to this point. Thank you so much for being here and for spending this divine time and space with me, and I'll catch you during one of my upcoming predictions. Hello all my beautiful Scorpio babies, and welcome to the second and even more personalized part of your prediction, where we'll figure out everything that you need to know. So let's get straight into it. I'm starting off with the Pastel Journey Tarot deck, which is my favorite deck that I've published to date. It's so beautiful. We've got the Knight of Swords, we've got the Five of Wands, as well as the Five of Swords. We've had the number 5 show up twice here for you already. The number 5 is a number of competition. This is a number of being unafraid to go after the things that you want. And I see that here in connectivity to the Knight of Swords. So one thing that you definitely need to know and need to hear is that you've got this, and to go for what it is that you desire. The Five of Wands does also show me that you will find that there are other people trying to do the same. So you'll just need to be strong. You'll just need to persevere. But all of my beautiful Scorpio babies, you are exceptionally determined and you're exceptionally intuitive. And those are two things that really help you get yourself ahead of the curve and ahead of the game. So do know here within the Five of Swords that when in doubt, use your intelligence to tilt situations in your favor and in a way that really serves you. I can see here within the cause lettuce that what you will be experiencing moving forward is a lot of desire for change and a lot of desire to try out new things, as well as to just relentlessly be authentic and go after your wildest dreams. We've got the cause lettuce here, but we also have the symbol that represents the sign of Cancer. So I can see that emotionally speaking, you've had enough of leading a life that doesn't quite represent your innermost needs and wants. And I do want you to know here within the daffodil that one thing that you need to hear and know is that that's okay. You don't always have to be 100% happy with the things that you've chosen for yourself. You can adjust the route. Just because at one point you thought that you wanted to study something specific or go down a specific career path or structure your love life in a certain way, that doesn't mean that it will be like that forever, or that it will always be the right thing for you, depending on what stage in life that you're in. So all of my beautiful Scorpio babies, for example, if you thought you would be a stay-at-home parent one day, or the parent who goes out and is the one who is the main breadwinner, that role may change. Further down the line, you may find that you actually kind of desire and thrive in the complete opposite of what you thought you would thrive in. And this is just one little example, but you get the idea with what I mean here in the daffodil, the cause lettuce, as well as the Five of Swords. Next up, we've got the pueo, also known as the Hawaiian owl. So you are meant to know that your ancestral spirit guides are offering you guidance now. So pay close attention to signs and omens from them. So your ancestors, your angels, and your guides, they are putting little signs into your life, such as signs in numerology, as well as different symbols. So look out for the number 5 in your daily life. See that as a synchronicity and a number that is pointing you towards a specific route and place to go. I can see here within the chameleon that it's all about staying in the background and adapting to situations rather than being conspicuous and attempting to direct the course of events. So of course, it is up to you where you want to go next, and if you adjust the route that you're on and the path that you're on if you're not happy with it. But once you have readjusted, just kind of stay put. It's almost like catching a flight. So yes, of course, you can change where you are. You don't have to stay in the country you're in right now. If that symbolizes a time or a place in your life, you can always book a flight and go to the next place. But while you're on the flight, don't try and steer. You're not the pilot in every situation. Sometimes you simply need to get from destination A to B without trying to interfere. And then when you're at destination B, you have the opportunity to either catch another flight or readjust your expectations or how you feel about where you just took things. So if you make a decision to switch jobs, to switch things in your relationship, don't tamper with it. Try to just let it settle for a little bit so you can get a real feel for the changes that you've implemented in your life and what types of effects that these changes bring with them. I see within the 3 of Cups reverse that what you need to hear, my beautiful Scorpio babies, is to not forget to also just enjoy life and to live life. You only have one life after all. The best thing that you can do for yourself really is to live life to its fullest extent. The 6 of Crystals shows me here that there is also a big part of you that's going to be victorious whenever you change directions in your life, whenever you try something new. Because you're a zodiac sign that is super determined and that isn't really intimidated or frightened by anything. Know here in the 6 of Crystals that you're usually the type of person who ends up in a triumphant spot. And I see in the 5 of Wands and 5 of Swords, which are both very phallic symbols, meaning very masculine symbols and symbols that show that you're not ready to kind of roll up your sleeves and work or even fight your way through a situation if needed. I do see that a lot of people are intimidated by going against you or by having to kind of be in competition with you, whether that be for a job, a relationship, whether that be in a sporting competition. All my beautiful Scorpio babies, use your strong, forceful energy to your advantage and lean into it, because it is definitely one of your biggest advantages in life. So all my beautiful Scorpio babies, this is the reading that I received for you. I hope you enjoyed it and that you found the second part insightful. Leave a little owl emoji down below in the comment section to let me and others know that you were here and that you are in fact a Scorpio baby. Thank you so much for spending this divine time and space with me, and I'll catch you during one of my upcoming predictions. Hello all my beautiful Sagittarius babies, and welcome to the second and even more personalized part of your prediction, where we figure out everything that your zodiac sign must hear right now. So let's get into it. I will be starting off with the Pastel Journey Tarot deck, which is the deck that I published not long ago. I absolutely love this deck. It's so cute and accurate. We've got the King of Cups as well as the Fool. So all of my beautiful Sagittarius babies, I want you to know here within the King of Cups as well as the Fool that what you need to hear is the fact that you are in full control of your emotions, and it's also okay for you to change your mind anytime. For some reason, it can often feel a little bit embarrassing when you change your mind about a decision in life, such as your relationship status and how you'd like it to be, job opportunities, personal beliefs. And I see here in the King of Cups that because you're someone who has an established belief system, you have strong morals, you are definitely not the type of person who just likes to switch things up from one minute to the next. Even though you're a very optimistic and good-humored person, there are just certain things that you don't necessarily want to change. But the Fool is here to let you know that it's okay, all my beautiful Sagittarius babies. It's okay to change your mind about your worldview. It's okay to change your mind about politics or about how you feel when it comes to the economy. The Fool shows me here that you're starting on a completely fresh journey, and that it's definitely going to challenge your already established beliefs, but it'll be good for you. I see here in the High Priestess that you're learning a lot, and that is a really invaluable thing. The fact that you're someone who is very honest and straightforward, you can absorb information, learn about it, and then also immediately kind of use it in real life. You're not the type of person who just reads theories and they just remain theories. You're the type of person who applies the knowledge that you have to your life, and you use that in order to create more abundance and just overall more happiness within your existence. The Chariot shows me that this is actually giving you that competitive edge over a lot of other signs and people, because a lot of people will read things like that it's good to go to bed early, and that really increases your brain function or your brain power, but they won't do it. However, with you, all of my beautiful Sagittarius babies, I can see here in the Chariot that the advantage that you have, the natural advantage that you have, is that as a person, you're not afraid to immediately implement and try something, see if it sticks, and allow for yourself to use that in order to propel you forward and in order to give you that competitive edge over others. The Two of Pentacles shows me here that work-life balance is an important thing for you to look at, and one thing that you must hear is that it's okay to completely change your outlook. You may have at some point been all about hustle culture or working hard and playing really hard, but you may definitely come to a point where you ask yourself, is it even worth it? Or do you really just appreciate a more relaxed and calm existence where you can just do your thing without having to work super, super hard just to spend a lot of money on things to impress other people that doesn't really change your life in the big picture? You know what I'm saying, all my beautiful Sagittarius babies? So the Two of Pentacles shows me here that you're coming back to very simple roots and appreciating the little things in life, and you're being more cautious about how much you spend because you don't want to have to overwork yourself or burn out or feel like you're selling your soul to the devil or to the economy just in order to afford nice things to impress other people. The Chimpanzee shows me here that a message you need to receive is to use both your intuition and your intellect to solve problems and to get answers to your question. So never feel as though you have to leave your intuition behind. If you know all of the facts and all of the logical parts of an equation, but somehow it just still doesn't feel right to you, like if you know what to do next in your career or what you should do next in some sort of business move, but it just doesn't quite sit right with you, don't do it, all my beautiful Sagittarius babies. This applies especially to any romantic relationships. If someone is saying all the right things but not acting them out, not acting on those right things, don't do it. Don't spend your time and effort in relationships like that, because in the long run, you're most likely going to get hurt. I see here within the Seagull that it's definitely a time now for deep emotional healing. You must hear that, my beautiful Sagittarius babies. So don't allow for new wounds to be opened or formed. Protect yourself and follow your intuition. Sometimes your intuition knows better than your rational mind. Well, most of the time, I'd even say, but you simply need to trust it and believe it and not question it, even though that can be really hard because it's like our society has trained us to question or even ignore our intuition. So come back to source, come back to how your ancestors used to navigate life, which is using intuition for many big decisions. The Walrus shows me here that a message you need to receive is to remain vigilant about the current situation. Pay attention to signs and omens and let them dictate your choices. This ties in beautifully with following your intuition, right? Paying attention to any types of signs, whether it be synchronicities that you feel are really symbols from your angels, whether it's you seeing some sort of shape over and over again or some sort of sign that you know is meaningful. Other people may not understand it, or there may not be like a logical explanation as to why you continuously see speckled feathers, or why you keep seeing the number 222, or why you continuously see pictures of these animals or symbols or shapes in different places. Do know here that just because it's still inexplicable, scientifically speaking, and we may never be able to explain why certain things show up in our lives at certain times, that doesn't mean that they are meaningless or that they don't matter. Use all of those symbols and signs in order to help guide you. They're here for a reason, and you're noticing them for a reason. I can see here within the weasel that a message you must receive, my beautiful Sagittariuses, is to be silent, pay attention, and simply observe with your eyes, ears, and physical feelings what is happening inside and all around you. Give yourself more time to really just feel into your body, to figure out what's right for you, how it is that you feel about situations right as they're occurring, rather than feeling like you have to act on things. As you can definitely be a little bit, how should I say, restless as a sign, and sometimes impulsive, sometimes even downright careless with your decisions. The weasel is giving you this message of taking a step back and thinking about things before you act, knowing that you don't have to decide immediately. Don't create pressure where there isn't really any pressure, and don't let people make you feel as though there is a time crunch when there really isn't. Next, we've got the rose. So romance is in the air for you, all of my beautiful Sagittarius babies. So listen to the sign and symbol and look out for some romantic partners, or for the flame and spark to be restored in a already existing relationship. The shark shows me here a message of you taking care, or there being a loss of material wealth. So again, no impulsive decisions for you, all my beautiful Sagittarius babies. Think things through before you spend your money. Money is so easily spent, but it's not made that easily, at least for most of us. Most of us have to work very hard, including myself. So do know here in the shark that while it may be very tempting to simply spend and to simply get things in a very impulsive kind of way, know that a message that you must receive is that it's best for you to save, because you will always be able to spend your money very easily. There will always be someone out there who is willing and ready to take that off your hands, to take that little problem of too much money off of your fingertips. So make sure that you don't do that in an impulsive way, that you don't spend your money in a way that you will regret at a later point. So if you've been thinking of buying something that isn't 100% necessary, try to refrain from doing so, as you will be really glad that you did later down the line. So all of my beautiful Sagittarius babies, this is a reading I received for you. I hope you enjoyed it and found it insightful. Leave a rose emoji down below in the comment section to let me and others know that you are in fact a Sagittarius baby. Thank you so much for being here and for spending this divine time and space with me, and I'll catch you during one of my upcoming predictions. Hello all my beautiful Capricorn babies, and welcome to the second and even more personalized part of your prediction, where we figure out everything that you need to hear. So let's get into it, all of my beautiful Capricorns, so we can see what your sign must know. So first up, we've got the Knight of Cups, we've got the Eight of Cups, as well as the Princess of Swords. In the Knight of Cups, one thing that I can see here is someone in your life who is a water sign, who is very helpful and very emotionally supportive. I can see here in the Eight of Cups that they're helping you get over any type of situation, such as a breakup or you walking away from other toxic relationships. The Princess of Swords shows me that there's also an air sign here that is ready to talk you out of any dumb decisions, so to say, all my beautiful Capricorn babies, because you can definitely have a bit of a glass half full mindset when you're really hurt, which is normal. I think we all go through that. That's why it's so important for you to have amazing amazing, uplifting friends and a great circle of people to count on when you just want to vent or rant or just say how it is that you feel without actually acting on any difficult emotions. So the things that you really need to hear is that it's completely okay to feel angry at times. It's completely fine for you to sometimes even feel like acting out on difficult, stressful emotions. Does that mean you're going to do it? No, but it's definitely healthy for you to be able to just let yourself feel a wide spectrum of emotions and not shame the ones that are deemed ugly and feel as though all you can do is be happy and positive. You know, we're not about toxic positivity here. We're all about also speaking about difficult things. Next up, we've got the butterfly. In the butterfly, I can see a change coming for the better for you, my beautiful Capricorn babies. And I want you to also know here that this change for the better is coming from a place of personal growth and you spending a lot of time bridging the gap between difficult emotions and emotions that society deems as good or okay to express, and understanding here that they're all valid, your whole spectrum of feelings and emotions, and learning how to deal with them and learning exactly how to cope. As a Capricorn, you're someone who is quite disciplined. You're very patient and careful. You're a reserved type of person, so you don't just trust any and everyone, but I do want you to know here within the bridge that through just having a few select people who you know are trustworthy and who you know you can lean on regardless of the situation, you're successfully overcoming any problems that you face in the near future. The fire shows me some strong emotion, passionate love or hate, and you may sometimes feel like it's either one or the other, like there's no in-betweens, all my beautiful Capricorn babies. So do know here that these strong, passionate emotions actually show that you really care. It's not something that you should feel is a bad thing. I see here in the flying bird quite the contrary. You're the type of person who gets emotional and things get done. People are, how should I say, people jump when they can feel that you're not happy with the situation, especially if you're the boss, especially if you're the type of person who is running an establishment. This is a trait that helps you many times to just get people back on track, because when you are in a leadership position and people are slacking or not doing their job the way that they know they should, you don't even need to say anything. They can feel your aura and your energy and they'll straighten up real quick. We just spoke about leadership, and now we have the broccoli show up for you, which is all about leadership, which is all about you finding yourself in a position where you can feel really comfortable being the leader and where you can see that this is just naturally where you're meant to go. I see within the cause lettuce that not only do you desire to be someone who is more in charge, but you're definitely also the type of person who is just built for that lifestyle, who is built to carry more weight on their shoulders than others, because the amount of weight you can carry on your shoulders before you break is so much higher. It's like so much more weight than the average amount that other signs can cope with. And I can see here within the chives that a great tool for you to use along your journey is divination. So think to yourself, tarot and oracle cards, if they help you out, just as, for example, receiving this reading, there's no reason for you to not incorporate more of that into your life. Furthermore, you may want to incorporate divination, such as using meditation in your daily life. You may want to use divination in the shape of crystals and rituals that you can do around the full and new moon, as I do also see here within the Seven of Cups, that it's often really your choice how much work that you put into your situations, whether it be your career, whether it be relationships. You're a very smart person, so you are truly the one who decides how much time that you invest in different projects. And I see within the Ace of Cups that now's the time for you to invest more time. Well, the Ace of Cups reversed, so I see that it's now a time for you to put more of your energy into your career, into your professional life rather than any relationships, as the relationships that are meant to work out are going to just flow effortlessly with the things that you're trying to do professionally, and all of the other ones are obviously going to start to slowly fade away or disintegrate. But know that you have the Knight of Cups and the Princess of Swords with you. The Princess of Swords is someone who has very young energy. You're definitely more of the mom or the dad in this relationship dynamic. They have air sign energy. Think Libra, Aquarius, or Gemini. The Knight of Cups is someone who has Scorpio, Cancerian, or Pisces energy. They're around your age, maybe a little bit younger, but either way, you are the one who is more mature in these friendships, and maybe you're used to that if you're kind of an old soul or someone who is way ahead of their time maturity wise. But those are the people who you can count on and who are there for you regardless of what happens, and they simply want to see you thrive and succeed in your professional life, and they want to add value to your life, not be a distraction. And the others are going to leave your life, and you should let them leave. All my beautiful Capricorn babies, you do not need a huge squad or a huge group of people in order to feel happy and content. You just need a few relationships and connections that are really deep and that really do truly serve you and are real. So all my beautiful Capricorn babies, this is the reading that I received for you. I hope you enjoyed it and that you found it insightful. Leave a little fire emoji down below in the comment section to let me and others know that you made it to this point of the reading and to represent the Capricorn fam. Thank you for being here and for spending this divine time and space with me, and I'll catch you during one of my upcoming predictions. Hello, all my beautiful Aquarius babies, and welcome to the second and even more personalized part of your reading, where we figure out the rest of everything that you need to know and need to hear right now. I'll get straight into it with the Pastel Journey Tarot deck, which is the second tarot deck that I've published. It is so beautiful. Let's see what the universe has to say for your sign specifically. We've got the Ace of Swords, the Four of Cups, and the Four of Swords, all my beautiful Aquarius babies. In the Ace of Swords, I can see that we're connecting to your air sign energy. The Ace of Swords shows me here that your innovative and creative part is definitely being fostered and being brought out. And I can see here that as an Aquarius, you are someone who is very humanitarian, loyal, and inventive. And it's important for you to never forget that that is one of your biggest strengths, and to use that in your daily life. Don't feel as though just because you know that you're a caring person, don't feel as though just because you know that you're loyal, that that ever gets old. I can see here in the Four of Cups that sometimes you can take your strengths for granted. Don't do that, okay? Because the rest of the world really, really loves to have people with strengths like yours around and really needs more of it. So never feel as though, well, you know, people have already seen the things that you're good at, or your talents are kind of like growing old now. It's never getting old, all my beautiful Aquarius babies. Know here within the Four of Swords that it's important for you to be grateful and thankful, and to remind yourself each and every single day that the things that you thrive at, they matter. The fact that you're someone who is so creative and inventive as well as honest, these are all things that a lot of people wish that they had. A lot of people wish they had the characteristics that you possess. And it's important that you don't forget how much you can do with them, and that you don't start to kind of grow complacent just out of feeling like you've already seen it, like you've been this way your whole life, so what difference does it make now? Don't allow yourself to fall into that mindset, as I can see here within the Apple that you're meant to accomplish so much more than you ever thought possible for yourself, all my beautiful Aquarius babies. The Apple shows me continuance. We've also got the Chrysanthemum, which speaks of longevity, and the Sorrel, which is about affection. One thing I also want to talk to you about here within the Sorrel, as this is what you have to hear, is that affection is something that you can work on. Just because you're maybe not a super affectionate person emotionally or physically, or you kind of struggle to communicate your feelings because it's just something that you've never been super good at, do know here that that doesn't mean it has to remain that way forever, or that you will always be the type of person who isn't quite sure how to say how they feel or how to put their feelings in a way that makes sense or that others can understand. In the chrysanthemum, I see a lot of longevity in your character traits that truly serve you and that make you you, all of my beautiful Aquarius babies, and that the only kind of thing between you and long-term success and happiness and feeling as though life is going amazingly well is just your mindset and you growing a little bit bored of yourself or your surroundings, which is why it's so important for you to go after any type of hunches that you have, whether that be to travel, to go to a new city, or to try out something new in business. Go for it so that you never feel as though things are just repetitive and as though life is a little bit complacent, because you need a lot of stimulation. Aquariuses are usually very intelligent. You have an unusually high IQ more often than not, and it's important for you to continue to stimulate yourself so you do not grow complacent or feel as though you're a little depressed in your situation. The meerkat shows me here that one thing you need to hear is to get support from a trusted group of like-minded friends. Speak to people who are like-minded, who you know get where you're coming from, and people who you respect. That's one of the most important things. If you don't respect someone as a person, or you don't look up to them in some way, shape, or form, either for who they are as a human being or the accomplishments that they have under their belt when it comes to their career, or maybe the things that they've been able to do on a humanitarian basis for other people, then it will be hard for you to really take any advice on board. So the most important thing for you here in the meerkat is to take advice from someone who you look up to, who for some reason you feel is an inspiration. I see within the elk that a message you must receive is to stand tall and maintain your dignity no matter what. Others will treat you with the respect that you deserve when they see you standing up tall and when they see you maintaining your dignity, because you can't expect of others to treat you like you're worth $1 million if you're treating yourself like you're only worth 20 cents. You know what I mean, all my beautiful Aquarius babies. Then we've got the falcon. In the falcon, we have the message of you acting on the opportunities that are before you and committing to them without equivocation. So don't overthink opportunities that you intuitively and instinctively know are opportunities you want to take and grab and that you feel would really work out well for you. Simply go for it, as you're definitely the type of person who can figure things out along the way. You're very creative and inventive. You're great at problem solving. And last but not least, in the shark, trust your instincts to discern the truth of the situation. Some people may try to sugarcoat certain situations or mask difficulties, whether that be with you looking at real estate and people trying to sell you something that they know is a problem house or a problem object. It could also be, for example, trying to purchase a vehicle and you intuitively feel like something is off about it. It could be a job opportunity where someone is telling you how quickly you could become wealthy if you just follow these steps, and you just know something doesn't quite sit right with you. Do know here within the shark that this message is one you must receive, which is all about trusting your instincts in order to learn the truth of the situation, to discern the truth, and for it to be uncovered. Your intuition and your instinct knows best. So all of my beautiful Aquarius babies, this is the second part to your prediction. I hope you enjoyed it and that you found it insightful. Let me know down below. Leave a little bubble tea emoji in the comment section to let me and others know that you were here and that you received your reading. Thank you so much for being here and for spending this divine time and space with me, and I'll catch you during one of my upcoming predictions. Hello, all my beautiful Pisces babies, and welcome to the second and even more personalized part of your prediction, where we figure out everything that your sign needs to hear and must know. Let's get into it with the Pastel Journey Tarot deck, which is actually the second tarot deck that I published. For any of you who didn't know, I'm super proud of this body of work and how it turned out, and I can't wait to use it in order to receive answers for you and your sign. We've got the Nine of Pentacles as well as the Five of Wands, and we've also got the Two of Swords as well as the King of Swords. So let's get straight into it, all my beautiful Pisces babies. The Nine of Pentacles shows me a very favorable situation when it comes to your career, as well as all things in the earthly realms. Think health, think business, think finances, think your time management. We have the Nine of Pentacles showing us here that things are going in a more favorable direction than you ever imagined. But I do see here within the Five of Wands that you're someone who likes a little bit more excitement. And I can see that when things are going well, but you feel like you're a little bit bored of the situation, that can make you feel a little bit stifled, creatively speaking. So that's where in the Two of Swords, you need to discern and decide for yourself whether you're more interested in just stability when it comes to your finances and your time management, or whether you would like for a few more ups and downs, but then also understanding that the downs can sometimes feel really low and the highs can get really high. So for example, picking a 9-to-5 job may feel more stable for you and your situation. And yeah, that will provide you with a lot of security. But at the same time, you may not get as much say in creating your own schedule or saying what tasks that you want to do. But if you, for example, work in a startup or you are starting your own company, the highs may be really amazing when you're successful, but the lows can be so hard and so daunting if things don't go as planned. So here I see in the Two of Swords that an important message you need to receive, my beautiful Pisces babies, is to discern, as we have here in the King of Swords, what is more important to you. Peace of mind and just relaxing, and also knowing that there's absolutely nothing wrong with just picking stability over what is sold as the quote-unquote American dream, or going after something that is a little bit more wild, a little bit more unknown, and at the same time also understanding that it won't always be easy. I can see here in the King of Swords that it's definitely decision time for you. I see that with the King of Swords and the Two of Swords, that you have to pick one or the other, and that there's no definitive way of knowing what's going to be best for you other than just listening to your intuition, as you can see here in the Two of Swords. It's like your hands are tied, you can't see anything, you literally need to go with whatever feels best within your body and your soul. The King of Swords is also a card that represents being smart with your choices. So if you want to switch careers or start your own thing, ensuring that you've built up a little nest egg, that you have some savings in order to ensure that you're not stressed out right off of the bat. I see here within the Elk that a message you must receive, my beautiful Pisces babies, is to stand tall and maintain your dignity no matter what, and others will treat you with the respect that you deserve. If you can't love yourself, how are you going to love anybody else? And how is anyone else going to love you? So if you don't respect yourself, all of my beautiful Pisces, how can you expect for others to respect you and to honor your boundaries? You first have to set an example, because one thing that you must know from your reading is that you teach others how to treat you. You give others the green light on what you're okay with and what not. And this is definitely something that puts a lot of the responsibility in your court, but that also means that a lot of the power is yours. Because again, you teach other people how to treat you. So you can either teach them to treat you with respect, or you can teach them that it's okay to walk all over you. The choice is yours, and it's definitely so empowering for you to remind yourself of the fact that you can choose to have others treat you with respect and dignity, but you must choose to do so for yourself. So it's like a win-win once you get it right. In the Humpback Whale, I can see that music is essential to your healing and well-being. Whether it's singing, playing an instrument, or listening, you're being called to make music a part of your life a lot more. And if you've fallen out of love with an instrument or certain music that you used to create or that you used to be more involved in, get back into it. The Blue Heron brings you the message of making a stand for what you believe in and doing what feels right in spite of any judgment or disapproval from others. That is the message that you must receive, my beautiful Pisces babies, from the blue heron, and that the blue heron really wants you to live. The blue heron is bringing you this message to remind you that it doesn't matter whether others approve of what you believe in or not. The most important thing is really for you to be convinced about your life being meaningful and the decisions that you make. As a Pisces, you're definitely someone who is super compassionate, and it is completely right of you to expect that compassion, care, and love that you give to others, to expect that back. But when you're not receiving it, don't let it make you feel insecure. Just know that not everybody is the way that you are. Not everyone is as caring and compassionate, and to just get back to the basics with those people. When you've given someone a lot of compassion and time and energy, and when crunch time comes for you, you don't get that same energy and that same vibration back. Strip them down to the bare minimum and the basics. Don't go the extra mile for them anymore. That doesn't mean that you're being rude to them or abandoning them, but take a step back from those relationships and pour more into the people who you know give you exactly what you need. As I see here in the lion, it's time to act. It's time to weed out the people who talk a good talk from those who actually walk their talk. You want to surround yourself with people who do what they say that they will do, because you are the average of the 5 people who you spend the most time with, my beautiful Pisces babies. So make that group of people truly count, and make sure that those are people who you look up to in every way and shape and form. The box shows me that you will receive a gift. This is a message that you must hear and receive, especially if it's been a while since you've received some sort of gift or surprise, and you just kind of want something to surprise you in a positive way. You just kind of feel like it's time for a gift. It's time for something fun. I mean, all of my beautiful Pisces babies, if you're watching this video not very long after I published and uploaded it, this gift could also be your birthday gift and receiving a bigger one than you expected. If you're watching this at a later point, know that this is going to be a different type of gift showing up within your life that isn't a birthday gift. We've got the rabbit, so I can see here that one of the messages you need to receive is that you're a little bit too concerned with sexual matters. Well, you overthink things a little bit too much when it comes to relationships, when it comes to sexual matters, whether you are attractive, whether you really do it for a partner, whether you are the way that you hope that you are in the bedroom. And I want you to know here within the rabbit that there's no reason for you to overthink. There is a reason, however, why you received this rabbit within your reading, and it's to calm your mind, to remind you of the fact that you are a beautiful, sensual, and sexual being, and to not be too concerned with that part of your life, as long as you are enjoying yourself and as long as you are respecting yourself. So never do anything that you're not 100% into just because you feel like you owe it to someone. That is another thing that we have here in connectivity to the elk. Remember to maintain your dignity no matter what, and others will treat you with the respect that you deserve. So if you've ever been in a situation where someone has made you feel like you had to be intimate with them because they were nice to you, or they paid for your dinner, or they picked you up, or they drove you somewhere, or anything like that, know that that is false. You do not need to give up your body or your temple or open it up to anyone for anything, especially if you don't want to, and you don't have to perform like we see in the media and on TV and on the internet. When it comes to being intimate, do what feels right, and know that if someone is pressuring you into something physically and sexually, then that says a lot about them, not you, and it's time for you to cut them out of your life and be with someone who respects you and with someone who you can maintain your dignity with long-term in a relationship. So all of my beautiful Pisces babies, this is the reading that I received for you. Leave a little fish emoji down below, a blowfish emoji down below in the comment section to let me and others know that you made it to the end, that you were here, that you enjoyed your reading. Thank you so much for spending this divine time and space with me, and I'll catch you during one of my upcoming predictions.